rights, and they'll come out in any kind of conditions to see this one. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We hope it's been a great day and that you're full of turkey and very warm, because there are about 79,000 here who are not. But they wouldn't miss this night for all the turkey that you could have on any upcoming Thanksgiving day. Mike Godfrey joins me on the telecast tonight. The Cotton Bowl is up for grabs in this one. Also bragging rights in the state of Texas. But the question everybody has, the Aggies are huge favorites. Do the Longhorns have an opportunity? Can they win this football game?
Well, first of all, Ron, Texas A&M is almost unbeatable here at home. Since 1985, they're 49-3-1, so it's very difficult to beat them here. In Texas's 4 losses, there have been 3 constants that they'll have to avoid tonight. First of all, Shea Morenz can't throw interceptions. They had 10 in their 4 losses. They have to run the football. They've had less than 150 yards against the 4 opponents they've lost to, and they must stop the run. The teams that beat them have averaged over 4-point yards, 7 yards rushing.
I didn't get a yes, but I think maybe I got a maybe from you. So then will you give me a formula for success if Texas is going to win this one tonight?
In a big rivalry, you always have a chance to win. First of all, that Texas has to take the pressure off of Shea Morenz. He can't be put in situations early where he has to win the game. And to take the pressure off of him, number 2, they have to get running back Phil Brown involved. Traps up inside against the hard-pressing defensive line of A&M. Short passes to him out of the backfield. Then you hit Lavelle Pinckney, who's 6'5". Try to get him in formations where he goes against 5'8" Ray Mickens, one-on-one, and then take your shot for the home run. They have to slow down A&M's running game. A&M will try to pound them and try to control the clock. And 4th, play to the weather. 2 quarters where you're going to have the wind at your back, and also field position is big.
Well, actually, Mike has kind of tipped our hand here. As far as the weather is concerned, Adrian Karsten is not on the field. Just how bad is it down there, Adrian?
Well, Ron, what's known as a norther in this part of the country becomes an equalizing factor in the game tonight. This mist is expected to become a freezing rain, and the wind right now gusting up to over 25 miles per hour. Now, as Coach said, means one thing for the coaches, basically 2 quarters to score their points while the wind is at their back. Special teams, hey, A&M owns the #1 punt return and kickoff return men in college football, but because of the wind, their talents could be taken right out of this game, Ron.
Okay, Adrian. There you take a look at John Makovic, 2nd year at Texas, 11-9-1. This season, his ball club is 5-4-1. And across the way, R.C. Slocum, his 5th year as the head man here in Aggie land, and a winning percentage of very close to 81%. The Aggies did win the toss, as Venetoulias has the ball teed up. And as R.C. Slocum told us yesterday, with this wind, the way it is blowing, he wants to put it behind his defense's back and let him play. Michael Adams from 2 yards deep will return it. And now the starting lineups brought to you by McDonald's. As Mike said, the man who has to have the steady hand, not necessarily a hot hand, is Shea Morenz. The wide receivers, you got a glimpse of him just a second ago. Mike Adams is the big play guy, extremely versatile. And on the offensive front, Blake Brockemeyer will be working against the All-American Sam Adams. That's a matchup that we will keep a very close eye on this evening.
Ron, crowd noise will be a factor for the young quarterback, Shea Morenz.
Jackson, straight up the middle, has 5 yards, and he'll take it to the 25. And these are the starters on defense. I mentioned Sam Adams. He's one of the finalists for the Lombardi Award this year. The linebackers very active. Steve Solari, they need big plays out of him this evening. And in the secondary, everybody's All-American at the corner spot, Aaron Glenn. In fact, the last 2 times that he has been on ESPN, he has had an interception for a touchdown. Morenz with the first pass of the night, right over the middle, throws it complete, ball comes loose, and they will say that the play is dead as Phil Brown on the receiving end at the 27.
Ron, I think they're going to give him the completion, and we talked earlier about this noise. 79,000 people. You're 19 years old. Shea Morenz, you're a redshirt freshman. The key for him tonight is be able to check off at the line of scrimmage. He has to be able to get his team out of some bad plays, so he has to maintain poise.
Third down. They go with the draw play. Pursued in the backfield. Phil Brown going to be tripped up, and from where he bounced, Mike, he will be about a half-yard shy, and it was Sam Adams who got a hand on him.
But I like the play calling in the first series there. You're about a half a yard short, but they didn't put Shea Morenz in a tough situation. Little short pass, and here's the quick trap up inside. You see Sam Adams, number 95, just beats the block and is able to get to Phil Brown. But I like the way John Mackovic started offensively.
Mike, here to me is the most important thing of the football game, particularly early. And that is the punting. Dwayne Vashik and kicking into this breeze that is gusting up to 30 miles an hour. Aggies with a 10-man rush. They come after him, and here you see the result of the win. That thing is going nowhere. It will go out of bounds at the 45-yard line. It's only a 26-yard kick. Now let's take a look at the starters on offense for Texas A&M. Craig Hill, one of three very, very talented tailbacks, but Hill is the man who will get the call to start it tonight. The wide receivers, Tony Harrison. Big play all over this guy. Number 3, he's out of Houston, Texas. And on a veteran offensive line, Chris Dawson is the leader there. Number 68, a senior out of San Antonio, Texas. Straight up the middle, and this is Thomas who gets the handoff. As 2 of the tailbacks start, it is Thomas starting at fullback and number 27, Greg Hill, at the tailback position. Defensively for the Texas Longhorns from their customary 4-3, Tony Brackens from Fairfield, Texas. He is straight out of high school, one of a number of youngsters played by John Mackovic tonight. The linebackers, they'll need a big game out of Brackens tonight. Winford Tubbs, the senior All-American in the middle, also out of Fairfield. And in the secondary, a freshman out of high school, Bryant Westbrook. They need a big one out of him. Pulling to throw for the first time tonight. Pumps it. Has it in the flat. It is complete to Rodney Thomas, and he will have the initial first down of the night.
Ron, what Texas A&M did on the last play is they brought all 3 of their outstanding tailbacks in the ball game and lined them up in a split T. Now, this is for the alumni. When you have 3 great backs, everybody's always asking how you get the ball to them. Well, you put them all 3 in the lineup at the same time. The only thing you don't want is you don't want your recruits to see that, especially wide receiver recruits.
Well, there you can see number 34, Leland McElroy, the redshirt freshman out of Beaumont Central, and just what Mike is talking about, the fact that they can and will put all 3 on the field at the same time this evening. Blitz coming up the middle. Pass is knocked away and incomplete at the 37-yard line. It was intended for short, and Robert Reed had the cover for Texas.
When you have a weather condition like tonight, you're going to have 2 quarters with the wind at your back. Corey Pullig and Texas A&M offensive coordinator Bob Toledo have to throw the ball deep when they have the wind at their back. Now, control the ball with the short passing game, but take your shots with the wind.
No score early going, first quarter. Draw play. Hill squirts through one tackler. Then is going to be hit. 16, Chris Carter, another high school freshman. He is from Tyler, John Tyler, who is coming up to make the stop. And it will be third down for the Aggies, and they need the 34-yard line to pick up the first.
Well, Ron, you talked about the 3 running backs, Greg Hill, Rodney Thomas, Leland McElroy. Leon Fuller says all 3 can make 3 or 4 yards after contact. He said that there's no team in the country has 3 good backs like these 3.
Hill and Cliff Gross this time. Gross in at fullback. He's a junior out of A&M Consolidated. Pressure on Pullick. Going to be hit. Breaks off a tackle and then goes down. Robert Reed, number 40, the sophomore out of Converse, Texas, just outside of San Antonio, with the sack.
Very important series for Leon Fuller and the Texas defense, because we talk about wind, and I just can't emphasize enough what a factor it is in this football game. And to give Texas A&M field position the first series at the 50-yard line and your defense hold is a big confidence builder for this Texas football team.
Mike Adams, number 83, back in a single safety, and with this wind behind the punter, James Bennett, I don't know if he'll ever get an opportunity to recover or to return one, Mike, from this field location because of the breeze. The the side of his foot. Takes an Aggie bounce now inside the 10, and that thing is going to go dead at the 1-yard line. 42 yards and a kick that wound up bouncing in the A&M direction. We'll be right back.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience, and by John Hancock, official life insurance sponsor of the 1994-1996 U.S. Olympic teams.
Thanksgiving night in College Station, Texas. The 100th meeting between these two great universities. Ron Franklin with Mike Gottfried and also Adrian Karsten. And Mike, you talk about turning a pig's ear into a silk purse. I mean, that kick was a horrible kick off the side of his foot. Look where it wound up.
Wind in the bounce, but it's important for Texas to get this ball out of here and get a couple first downs.
Moran straight ahead with the handoff, and it'll be Phil Brown, who may get one. Jason Atkinson, the senior out of Houston Westfield, number 43, steps up to make the hit.
Ron Shea Moran's 19 years old, facing the 79,000 in the stadium, and of course the Wrecking Crew defense. In his last 58 passes, he's thrown 5 interceptions. If he's had a problem this year, it's been the interception bug. He's thrown 18 this season.
Play again. Jackson hit at the 1. He will have nothing. Antonio Shorter is the man who is there to make the stop on him. And now, Mike, a 3rd down situation.
When you're backed up, wind in your face, Texas A&M will play the run. Curtis Jackson, number 39, tries to bounce it outside. When you're down inside the 1, you want to run it straight up the football field, not try to bounce it, because the chances of a safety are always there.
Lops it on top. Adams pushed on the play and no flag.
John Makovic elected to try to go deep to Michael Adams. Not a bad call. Had one-on-one versus Ray Mickens. Now the problem, Ron, is for the punting team.
Well, the ball is going to be snapped from the 1.5-yard line.
Have to get it away quick because you're not at your normal depth as a punter.
Bosick waits for the snap. That's a good one from Palmieri. And here's his kick. And look, the wind just kills it. And I am amazed that they let it bounce. It will only cost them about 7 or 8 yards, but it is out to the 38. And let's take a timeout. No score, but the Aggies with great field position. We'll be right back.
You can see these new movies.
No score with 8:36 left in this opening quarter. And some of the folks that have come here tonight, they are bundled up with everything they can get a hold of tonight. It is extremely cold. The wind chill factor in single digits.
Ron, this is an excellent time to try to run a middle screen because Texas was trying to blitz the last 2 plays or go deep.
They go with the running play, and Hill with a big opening over the middle. Has 5, has 10, counted off at 11 as Chris Carter will come up to make the tackle on him. And Dawson with a paving block on the play.
One of the strong points this Texas A&M offense is the big offensive line. See Chris Dawson, the center, who's 268, 6'4". Calvin Collins, the right guard, 6'3", 288. Big size leading the way for Greg Hill.
To him again. Hill butts one down. Again a 10-yard gain. Carter holding on for dear life, and he's going to wind up with, let's see, but he'll spot him out of bounds at around the 18-yard line, so it's a gain of close to 10 on that one again.
That's the problem the Texas defense has had all year. They have not been able to stop the run. Texas A&M on the other side will pound you. They'll keep running the football, try to pound you. Greg Hill's reached 2,000 rush yards faster than any other Southwest Conference back, and then try to play action you're on after they pound you for a while.
And Mike, on a night like this evening where the wind is supposed to gust up to 30 miles an hour, if there is a constant in this ball game that Bob Toledo might work with, and that is the fact with those three tailbacks, he might run the ball 60 times tonight and be safe with it.
It will become a running game for him, and if John Makovic on the Texas sideline, he has to look at the clock and say, run, clock, run. 8 minutes, 8 seconds to go in this quarter.
First down. The pitch goes to Hill. Cuts behind one of his blockers. Going to have 3 yards in the play, and Kevin Watler, number 47, comes over to make the stop. Watler injured an arch early on in the season, and they really missed him. And Mike, they have realized in the last 3 games since he has been back and almost 100% of what a huge thing that they have missed the entire year as far as output defensively.
You're right. They're a different defense with Kevin Watler in there. He brings experience to this defense.
Watler was our player of the game, in fact, in that big game against the University of Houston about 3 Thursday nights ago. Reverse to Harrison. Will not make it to the 10-yard line. He's got to be tackled just before he gets to the 12, and defensively Robert Reed is there to make the stop, along with number 1, Norman Watkins.
Ron, you can't play a reverse any better than Robert Reed. Number 40 will play this reverse. Right from the snap of the ball, Robert Reed is being blocked. You're going to see him come into your picture. There's Norman Watkins coming off, then Robert Reed late on the tackle. Norman Watkins with a good play. Number 1, Norman Watkins sheds off the block. Now he'll get help from Robert Reed to stop the reverse of Texas A&M.
Third down for the Aggies, and the line to make is the 8. Pulling, blitz from the backside, hit, fumbles the ball. Nope, holds on to it. I beg your pardon. I thought he came loose of it. It was Watler who came across to hit him.
They had the middle screen on. Texas A&M had the middle screen, and the middle screen was open. Because of the blitzing of Texas in the defense, Kevin Watler, number 47, is going to blitz, but Corey Pullig never had time to get rid of the football.
He did lose the ball.
Bounced right back to him.
Right through Watler's arms, and now Venetoulias to attempt a field goal of 45 yards. This would equal his longest. Wind at his back, has the distance, does not have the accuracy, and let's take a timeout. 5:53 left in the opening quarter. A&M nothing, and Texas nothing. Well, the CFA special Friday afternoon tomorrow. Number 3 West Virginia at number 11 Boston College. Both teams coming off arguably their biggest wins in history. Boston College shocked Notre Dame, as you know, and West Virginia defeated Miami. So tomorrow it is West Virginia and Boston College, 4 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN. And Mike, what a huge stop for the Texas defense.
Big confidence builder for this Texas football team. They keep looking at the clock. They want to get this quarter over with so they can get the win.
Lorenz in a short drop to throw. Just throws this one away. Brown is the man he was looking for, and he just tossed it in the stands. Mike Adams, or let's make it Sam Adams, was the man closest to the quarterback and putting on the pressure.
John Makovic clearly is trying to settle the young quarterback down early with some short passes, play the running game, try to take advantage of the front of Texas A&M coming hard up the football field.
You know, something else that could be very important, early points, just because of a weathercast I've just been handed. We'll talk more about it. Draw play. Bill Brown fights it close to the 35 as Junior White comes over to make the stop. And let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, weather, very important factor, but something else is the noise down here. There are an additional 3,000 seats right on the field. During the Longhorns' last offensive series, and they're backed up to the goal line here, no more than 3 to 4 yards behind their offensive huddle. 2 things. Morenz had to call the play 3 times, even with hand signals inside the huddle. Plus, these guys are really cold. The wind is blowing down here. They're not warmed up very well, Ron.
Well, it's very difficult to get warm and to stay warm anywhere here this evening. Third down, and they need the 37. From the shotgun, Lorenz. Ball is tipped and incomplete at the 40-yard line. Eric England is the man who got a hand on it.
We were sitting with Darrell Royal the other day in the press box, Ron, you and I, watching Texas practice, and he pointed out that Shane Moran's a little slow getting rid of the ball, but one of the problems he has is he pats the football before he throws it and gives you time to break on the football. Eric England, number 92, with the deflection.
Aaron Glenn is the deep man as Dwayne Bosick will kick for the third time. This is the third straight series of 3 downs and out for Texas. They have yet to pick up a first down. Good kick into the wind this time. Glenn at the 27 calls for the fair catch and makes it.
Ron, if I'm Bob Toledo right now, the offensive coordinator, I'm going to try to go deep.
All right, Mike, let me make the point that I was alluding to a moment ago. This weathercast we have just been handed here says we got an overrunning pattern, which means moisture overrunning Arctic air. We're looking for below freezing, freezing drizzle, and we may have sleet in the second half. So if the footing turns sour, whoever scores first in the second half or in the first half of play, it could go a long way as far as winning this football game.
Big advantage, but I think Bob Toledo still has to use this 455 with the wind to try to air one out against this Texas defense.
Thomas, the lone setback behind him, gets the handoff. And Thomas will get 2-3 tough yards as Tony Brackens, number 98. The freshman out of high school, Fairfield, Texas, is there to make the tackle.
You know, it's interesting when we were over at Texas on Tuesday watching practice, the confidence of the players. Watching them practice, then listening to them talk after the ball game. They talk very confidently about coming in here and winning the football game. They cannot afford any mistakes. They have to cause some turnovers against A&M.
Blitz from the outside. It is Hill with the football. Winford Tubbs stands high in the pole, and he will knock him down after a gain of 1.5 yards, and now it's going to be third down.
Talking to Leon Fuller, the defensive coordinator, about Winford Tubbs. Here's a player, Ron, that missed all spring practice, missed early fall practice, and Leon Fuller believes now he's finally coming into the player that he felt like he would play. Having a good end of the season because he missed all that practice.
Had that very severe laceration of his wrist trying to open a window in his apartment. His hand slipped off and went through the glass. It severed a tendon. He's lucky to still be playing. Dumps it out of the backfield. McElroy, and he will have the A&M first down as Tubbs gets outside to make the tackle. But of all 3, the tailbacks, a couple of juniors and a redshirt freshman, McElroy seems to be the one that makes the most happen.
Ron, Texas plays a lot of man coverage. Texas A&M decides on this play to put both receivers into the short side of the field. Now they're going to work Leland McElroy out of the backfield along with the tight end. Now Leland McElroy will be defended to the wide side of the field with a lot of room by a linebacker. Good call by Bob Toledo.
Rolls the pocket. Oh my goodness. If he had Thomas catch the football there, Tubbs was a half step behind him, and there were not many folks downfield.
Same situation. When you blitz and you play man coverage, Winford Tubbs is going to be against Rodney Thomas, the running back. Has to cover him out of the backfield. And when you have crossing action, like on the last play, sometimes it will hold the middle linebacker just a step, and he's beat. Leon Fuller, the defensive coordinator.
Clock stops at 3 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in this opening quarter. And I mean, now the wind is just gaining here at College Station.
Okay, good time for a gimmick play, good time to throw deep.
Or a timeout. And that's what Corey Pullica has just done as he turns and looks as though he might even be fussing with Hill a little bit. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Bob.
Yeah?
Why are we wearing this reindeer suit?
To show everyone that CompUSA is a fun and festive place to shop.
Well, sure, you can choose from more than 5,000 computer gifts.
Yeah, like these IBM PS1 personal computers. Affordable, powerful, and expandable with a fax modem and preloaded with lots of great software.
And, Bob, IBM PS1 models feature the new Smart Energy system, so they're all energy-saving green machines.
And is it true that CompUSA has a low price guarantee?
Would you be asking that if they didn't?
That's a good point.
Thank
It's
you.
a very good point. Hey, stop that.
It's a timepiece. It's a breath spray. The new Breath Spray 9000.
While some watchmakers brag about their new inventions, Loris creates practical watches like the Vector, a digital compass built into a precision chronograph. Stick with Loris, the only time worth keeping.
Park this under the tree. Corvette backed by Eureka. Raw power for home or auto. 10 tools included for big jobs, tight spots, extra long cord. Corvette back, a great gift by Eureka.
They are more precious than gold. Sweeter than the honey. They are more precious than gold. They make wine.
With 3 hours of breathtaking picture and sound on a single tape, and instant playback at the touch of a button, nothing portrays the moments that color our lives like a Sony Handycam camcorder. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
3 minutes and 27 seconds left in this opening quarter, and no score from College Station. And some of the faithful who have come over this evening cheering for the Burnt Orange. Corey Pullig. Now it's second down, Aggies. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming from the backside. That's Watler. He steps up into the pocket, hit by Stoney Clark, and is going to be knocked down for a loss. And that is the third sack, I beg your pardon, of Pullig so far tonight.
Corey Pullig looked like he tried to step up a little too soon in the pocket. Here's the play action fake, but again the blitz by the University of Texas. Stoney Clark, number 93, Kevin Watler, number 47, in on the play. Good pressure. You see Corey Pullig step up, just can't get the ball off against the pressure of the Texas defense.
Stoney Clark is a sophomore out of Gladewater, Texas, 6'1", 320 pounds. Pullig, pressure coming from up the middle. Gets by 1, gets by 2, and he will come out of bounds on the near sideline at the 45-yard line. And it's Brian Johnson, number 13, out of Jersey Village, who was putting on the pressure. And there was a flag down, Mike, at the 45.
It's against A&M, a personal foul. Ron, you're always in a rivalry game, you know, big plays. You worry about penalties because the tempers of the players, because they've waited for this game 365 days. Texas was beaten last year. Texas A&M did the dance on Bevo in the middle of the field.
Foul was a dead ball, personal foul, hit out of bounds.
You worry about the intensity of your players, and you talk to them about it, but you can't take the fight out of your players.
There you see the hit. Norman Watkins got taken out of the play after he had taken a couple of steps out of bounds, and that's the reason for the marker. Michael Adams.
Most important thing for Michael Adams is he has to handle this football, because you see earlier what the bounce did, put him in bad field position. He has to make the catch on this punt.
Adams from the 30. Far side at the 40. Hit from behind and stopped at the Aggie 29-yard line by Steve Kenny.
Excellent block by Van Malone, number 8. Sets us up. The wind at your back, you get a good punt off. Michael Adams, who's a very dangerous player, reminds a lot of people of Eric Metcalf, the former Texas Longhorn. He's going to pick up a big block by number 8, Van Malone. And now, Ron, good field position for this Texas offense.
41 yards on the return by Adams. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in this opening quarter. And the Aggies are up in mass. I don't see how Marin's can possibly hear the signals with this amount of noise. They are really whooping it up. Going to go long. Deep over the middle. Pinckney is there. Incomplete. Knocked away 8 yards deep of the end zone. Aaron Glenn and Junior White in the coverage, and it appeared momentarily as though Pinckney might have had the ball.
Well, the 6'5" receiver, 234 pounds. Shea Marin sprints to the left side of the field. Then he'll throw back to Lavelle Pinckney. Lavelle Pinckney on the post pattern, but he's being doubled by Aaron Glenn, number 31, Junior White, number 5. Aaron Glenn, number 31, with a good job of trying to knock Lavelle Pinckney's hands away.
Junior White, the second man in, you're right, Mike, is the man who caused the ball to come loose. Reverse. It's Adams. Gets a block. Atkinson gets turned to flip, and Adams will take it to the 21-yard line. Hendricks is there defensively.
Blake Brockermeyer, number 78, with the block again that will spring Michael Adams. Keep your eye on the right tackle, 78. Starts down inside. Now you're going to see him come up and make the block right there on number 43, Jason Atkinson, on the reverse. Ron, I think if you're Texas here, you think 2 plays to get this first down because of the wind situation.
3rd down and 2. Brown bounces to the outside, has the first down, plus an extra 10. It is 1st and goal, Texas. Mickens defensively.
Ron, this is the player that John Makovic has to get off the mark. We talked about it earlier. Phil Brown, number 29. See the ability he has. He just stopped the defense because they thought he was going to go inside. Then he was able to stop on a dime, start again. Ray Mickens makes the tackle, number 24. But Phil Brown can hurt you 3 different ways. Running the football, blocking, and he's an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
That's the initial first down by Texas in this opening quarter. 2 minutes left to play. Brown at the 5. Spins off the tackler down to the 4. Sam Adams is down at the bottom of the stack.
This defense of Texas A&M's been so dominating this year. There's only been 2 touchdowns scored against the Texas A&M defense. SMU late in the ball game in Louisville scored a touchdown against them. Texas has a chance to put the 3rd one on the board.
Brown, nothing there. Tries right tackle. Bounced it inside, back out, and then cut it up. And he wound up with positive yards, but they're going to spot him down at the 3, and it'll be a 3rd down for the Longhorns.
This area of the field is 2-down territory when you're on the 3-yard line against this A&M defense. You also have the ability of Lavelle Pinckney on the outside with his size versus Ray Mickens, 5'8". You got a 6'5" receiver against a 5'8" corner on the outside.
Fade route. Pinckney knocked away. Mickens with the cover.
Ron, they had exactly what they wanted. The Longhorns had Lavelle Pinckney and 6'5", but Ray Mickens, the little 5'8" corner, you know, he told his team the other day in the paper, he said, I can cover Michael Irvin of the Cowboys, and the other player said they're not so sure he can't. He just has so much confidence in himself. You just see him fight Lavelle Pinckney for the football.
Scott Schirady to attempt this field goal of 20 yards. Chad Lucas the holder. Kick is up, and he's got it. So 35 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. And the Texas Longhorns with a couple of things. They pick up their initial first down of the evening, and they kick the field goal to go in front 3-0. Adrian, what do you have for us?
Ron, Texas has a lot of confidence behind his bench over here. They went into this game, and the coaches told me, look, if we can win this first quarter, even if we don't score any points, don't let A&M, because we can win it on emotion, but later on, talent of Texas A&M is going to take over, and now they're so confident they feel they've literally done it going into the win against the grain.
Well, it's an awfully good point. In fact, Mike and I were talking at the meeting this morning, Adrian, about how early on in this football game it had become so very big in recent years, and it had been A&M who had been grabbing the momentum early and therefore grabbing the football game away.
So much confidence in the fact that you kept Texas A&M from scoring with the wind at their back for 35 seconds. But the other thing, I think John Makovic's done a great job in the first quarter of taking the pressure off the 19-year-old quarterback, Shea Morenz. Now let him play. Now he'll have the quarter with the wind at his back. Now you try to air it out to Michael Adams and Lavelle Pinckney.
Mitchell and McElroy go back in a dual safety. Good look at McElroy there, number 34. As we said, he is a redshirt freshman. Corps of Cadets here at College Station on this cold evening. Last night was bonfire night. This is a tradition-rich series for both schools. On the ground. Slip, ball is touched and then knocked out of bounds. And Detron Smith, it's a good thing that he played heads up. That ball was very much alive. Well, don't forget this Saturday, there's more college football here on ESPN at 4 o'clock. It's bowl qualifying game for LSU as they take on the Arkansas Razorbacks in Baton Rouge. After the Residence Inn scoreboard show, number 9 Miami looks to improve its bowl position against Memphis State at 7:30. Another Saturday of college football right here on ESPN. 33 ticks left on the clock in this opening quarter.
Still, if I'm Texas on defense, I'm expecting one long throw with the wind.
Pitch. Hill close to a first down. In fact, he may have it at the 29-yard line. And unless the Aggies do something to stop the clock, that could be their last play with the wind here in the opening quarter. It has stopped momentarily because of the moving of the chains. He did pick up the first down. So they'll get another. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and I hope you've had a great day. Pullick rolls the pocket after play action, throws wide open in the flat. Smith, and he will have the first down plus 7 more as he'll take it to the 46-yard line.
It's a mismatch for Texas because Detron Smith, the fullback's coming out of the backfield versus Winford Tubbs. You see Winford Tubbs over checking with the coaching staff. He's having problems on that play because of the crossing action by the backs.
Clock is whistled back in, down to 2 seconds, down to 1, and that was the final play of the opening quarter. So let's take a timeout from College Station. It is Texas 3, Texas A&M nothing. We'll be right back. Well, you can see some water sprinkles there on that camera, 3-0 as we begin the second quarter. Blowing rain. It is 32 degrees here at College Station, and in the second half they say we may get sleet and maybe a little snow. As the running play with Hill will go just across the 50-yard line, and this is the storyline on that first 15 minutes. For the Longhorns, 3 sacks, and Adams with the 41-yard punt return, setting up the field goal. And for Texas A&M, 12 carries, only 20 yards. Pullick 3 of 5 for 35. And now Pullick works into the wind in the second quarter. Hill tries to get it outside, and he loses his footing. Van Malone was coming up to try to make the tackle, but Texas definitely had an ally there with the wet turf as Hill fell down.
Had a play, Ron, till he slipped. The Texas defense must stop the run, force turnovers, and do not give up a big play. They've got to make Texas A&M work for everything.
Right now, Mike, number 34, Leland McElroy, has come into the backfield for the Aggies. And I look back at the Louisville game, and he is the man that set them on fire that night. He's the man who turned around the fortunes of their offense. McElroy in motion. Pass overthrown and incomplete. And McElroy is downfield clapping his hands because, Mike, somebody had blown a coverage. He was all alone down at the 30-yard line.
Wide open, but Corey Pulling just didn't see him. Had the short pass, just overthrew it. You see the disgust that Corey Pulling knows he had a completion, just overthrew the football. This Texas defense getting more and more confidence each series.
See if Bennett will kick it to Adams this time, who had a 41-yard return on his last attempt. And the ball is snapped over his head, and there's no safety valve. Bennett now running the ball, doesn't try to kick it, and goes out of bounds at the 37. What a break for Texas.
Two things happened on this. Number one, Texas had a return on because of the field position. The ball was snapped over James Bennett's head. Going to see it. Number 47, James Bennett. Ball really was catchable. Now, Ron, he really has time because there's nobody rushing. He should have just kicked the football. Instead, he makes a big error, tries to run the football. Victor Frazier, number 7, makes the tackle. Texas is in business on offense. There's a snap. It should have been handled. High, but still should have been handled by James Bennett.
Mike, I think that's the first bad snap that youngster has had in 3 years handling the Georgia.
Still should have been handled all.
Ball is loose on the ground. And you could see Morantz just go between the legs of his center, Dan Neal, and make the recovery. And let's check in with Adrian.
Ryan, you're absolutely right. The turf beginning to play a part in this game now. You're right. Darrell Red's first bad snap in 3 years. Greg Hill's slipping all over the place. This is more sleet than rain and is actually freezing once it hits the surface of the field now, Ron.
Okay, that goes back to the point that I made in the first quarter and early points and how big they could be, because now we are having trouble seeing the far side of the field at times because of the moisture that is coming across. It is going to get slicker by the moment. Hit in the backfield, Sam Adams all over Phil Brown.
That's the second time that Texas is trying to run the counter and has not been able to block Sam Adams. When you run the counter, you block back. They'll try to block back on number 95, but he's just so quick on his first step. He beats the block, makes the tackle on Phil Brown in the backfield. Sam Adams, talented defensive lineman.
Yep, he really is. His father was a very good one, played a long time in the pros with the Patriots. Third down, the line to make for Texas is inside the 28. Moran looking, going to go on top. Has a man in the end zone. Adams, and it hit him right in the chest as it was deflected by an Aggie defensive back.
I don't know if Aaron Glenn really touched that ball. We'll maybe take a look at it here in a second. But Aaron Glenn was in pretty good position, but underplayed it. Mike Adams may have had a shot of this football.
Mike, I thought it hit him right in the shoulder pads.
We'll see if it was deflected or not. Michael Adams, I didn't think it just hit him in the pads. And what happened was Aaron Glenn bothered him a little bit with his hands.
The hand was just going by his face, but it did. It hit him right in the breadbasket. So the Longhorns squander a great opportunity with the wind. And this punt inside the 5, pushed back, and it is going to be touched dead at the 1-yard line.
Boy, did Texas really do a job on special teams.
So let's take a break. 11:51 left until halftime. Longhorns 3-0.
Sure. ESPN's presentation of CFA Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, where safety, reliability, performance, and value are never optional. And by Burger King and its everyday value menu, where you can have it your way. I love this place.
Mike Adams on on the near sideline who had a close encounter with a deep pass by Marins. And in fact, both of the wide receivers now have been hit in the hands, Mike, on potential touchdown catches.
And you've got to make those catches when you're trying to upset a football team.
They move the ball to the 9-yard line as the running play. Stoney Clark will step up into the hole, and Rodney Thomas is the man who will be stuffed.
Special teams can be a big part of a victory. And in this case, Texas punched the football, and their defenders, John Hunter, 46, Brian Howard, were able to get down and play like shortstops, not let the ball get in the end zone to put A&M in the hole.
Good look at Stoney Clark there out of Gladewater, who made the tackle. And Mike, your point is well taken, because with the stuffing of the play just a moment ago, it is now 2nd and 10. And this is the worst field position that A&M has started from this evening. Draw play. Winford Tubbs is the man of the moment.
When you're calling defensive signals, when you have somebody backed up with the rain and the wind in their face, now you try to play defense against the run. Winford Tubbs reads the draw all the way and beats the block. Number 44 was able to come right in. Ron, the only tight pass plays you figure that A&M will throw coming out of the end zone, little short passes to the fullback, because they've had him open in the flat, or run the football.
3rd down, and the Aggies need to move the ball out to the 19-yard line to keep this drive alive. Short drop out of the backfield, incomplete, as he was looking for McElroy out of the backfield. And now let's see how Bennett handles punting into the wind.
Now, if I'm Texas, if I'm coaching Texas right now, I'm going after this punt. You had a snap that was high. James Bennett has to be a little nervous. You shouldn't be able to return this kick, because it should probably be a low one into the wind. So rather than try to return, go after for the block. Try to see how James Bennett, number 47, the punter, was affected by that last exchange from Darrell Red.
Pressure up the middle. They got him coming. Kick into the wind, and this is just dive. Adams with the fair catch at the 36-yard line. So it's 27 yards on the punt.
Good decision by Texas, because they can't return the short kick into the wind. Look at the turnaround, the defensive turnaround by Texas. First 5 games gave up 248 yards rushing. Last 5, 137. Points allowed, 34.8 to 15.4. I think a lot has to do with the fact that Watler's back.
No
Winford
doubt.
Tubbs now is playing football consistently.
Roderick Walker checks into the backfield for Texas, number 24. Play action to him, and they're going to go on top. And Adams, the intended receiver, at the 15-yard line, and Mickens had to cover on him.
Just figure you're going to have so many shots at field position against this Texas A&M defense. Shea Morenz, 1 out of 8 for 2 yards. But the big thing, he has not thrown it to the other team.
You know what?
That's been a key.
Mike, with the weather conditions, though, an important point is, with 10:09 left to play until halftime, neither quarterback has completed a pass to a wide receiver yet.
All have been the backs.
The pitch goes to Walker, behind a block, has 5, has 9, and close to the first down, depending on where they're going to give him a spot. And as they come in from the near sideline, Mickens is the man who made the stop, and I don't believe he's going to have it. I think he's going to be about 6 inches short.
John Elmore, number 66, as you look at John Makovic, the offensive guard, picks up a big block for Roderick Walker, number 24. Now he's into the secondary, making the defensive backs make the tackle. Michael Hendricks, number 40, with the tackle. The first down, Ron.
It is the first down for Texas. So if you've just joined us, a 20-yard field goal, the difference in this ball game. 10 minutes left to play until halftime. It is Longhorns 3 and Texas A&M nothing. A&M with the blitz. They fake the counter, throw the the pass in the flat and have it complete at the 20-yard line, and Phil Brown will have a gain of 6 on the play.
6 yards on first down, big for Texas. Phil Brown out of the backfield against the Texas A&M defense. Such a hard charging defensive line. That type of play really tries to hold the front of Texas A&M to buy some time for Shea Morenz.
Phil Brown,
33 receptions coming into the night,
averaging just over 8. Walker hit by Sam Adams and stopped behind the line again.
They're going to go in the locker room at halftime and they're going to say, we can't run the counter till we can block Sam Adams. We're going to have to change our blocking scheme. They have to change something to block Sam Adams. He never gives you a chance to run the counter. So he's up the field too quick. He just destroys the block of the back and makes the tackle on Roderick Walker. I'd put that one in reserve for a while. Save it.
Brockemeyer, number 78, working against Sam Adams. Morenz lofts his pass. Nobody home. Is that a mark where he stepped out of bounds, or is that a flag? A flag has been dropped, and now it comes out on the field of play.
They may call Steve Solari for pass interference.
First, a marker came out where the youngster went out of bounds, and then a flag was dropped at the spot. And as you can see, there's a lot of pointing at this juncture.
Different style of dress for the officials tonight. The one on the left's a little smarter than the other two. A little bit more on.
It is going to be pass interference against Texas A&M.
Steve Solari, the linebacker, is in man coverage versus Curtis Jackson. Now, see number 94. He's working against the back out of the backfield. He's just going to kind of, oh, my gosh.
Let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Ron, this is something A&M's been getting away with all year long. They've actually been riding their shoulder, looking back at the ball into the receiver on an outside release, pushing the potential receiver out of bounds. Texas picked it up on tape this past week, been complaining about it to the officials the past 2 plays like that, and they finally got nailed.
Well, that they did, but I don't know, Adrian. I think that Texas may have gotten a big break on that one. But the point of the matter is, it is 1st and goal Longhorns, and the ball rests at the 10-yard line. Texas leads 3-0 with 8:56 left until halftime.
Now they moved the ball back to the 11-yard line. Nope, now it's back to the 10-yard line.
They better come snap this ball quick.
Yeah, if I was Texas, I like it better at the 10. It's inside the 10, Ron. They cannot get a first down.
79,000 on their feet. Well, you could see on the left side, Bradley looked as though he came out of his stance, and that's where not maintaining your focus and poise can cost you dearly. You could see the Aggie middle backers stepping up, but there's still no hits, and you know the snap count to get 5 yards against your team. Boy, that's killer.
Now John Makovic is facing first down and goal from the 15-yard line, just inside the 15. This is Phil Brown time down here. Working Phil Brown versus the linebackers of Texas A&M.
You know what else might work from this distance right here, Mike? A pitch and a halfback pass.
I'd rather have my quarterback throwing it down here, but that might be the call. You never know.
Aggie secondary drops off like they're looking for a throw. Morenz over the middle. Incomplete at the 5-yard line. Michael Adams, the man that he wanted.
Shea Morenz looks a little nervous to me throwing the football. Not taking enough time, sitting in the pocket, looks to be a little bit nervous. Of course, when you're 19 years old facing a wrecking crew defense and 79,000 people and it's raining out, I'd be a little nervous myself.
second and goal.
Flag down again, Ron.
I'm not so sure they got the play off, did they? No, illegal procedure. They did get it off, but they had movement again. Started at the 10. Now they're going to be back to the 20.
2 calls, and you can credit this to the crowd and the noise. What Texas A&M will try to do on defense now with the long yardage situation, 2nd and 20 for a touchdown. They'll try to double up both wide receivers, Michael Adams and Lavelle Pinckney.
Middle linebackers on the blitz from A&M. Texas picks it up. Morantz goes back against the grain, wide open, and it is knocked down by Steve Kenny. He just underthrew it. Oh my goodness, Texas had a sure 6 points.
The reason they busted coverage is Lavelle Pinckney was inside as a tight end. Brought him in real tight, and he worked against the linebacker, but Shane Morantz again did not get anything underneath this football. Never gets his feet really set. Lavelle Pinckney sitting in the end zone wide open. Steve Kenny with a good effort to get back. Look at Lavelle Pinckney. He's wide open. Just needs the football. Too long. I'd run it again, Sam. I'd play the same play.
Morantz deep over the middle. Incomplete. Not close to anybody. I think Hakes is the man he was throwing for.
Well, he didn't make the mistake he's made all year and throw the interception, so you still have a chance for the field goal. You have a chance to go up 6-0.
Well, for Shea Morantz, he has now hit 2 of his last 12 passes. In fact, 1 of his last 11. So Scheretti.
And you know something that's interesting about that? The point you just had, they're still leading the football game, 3-0.
37-yard attempt from the far hash mark. Whistle, kick was good.
They'll get another chance to kick it.
Illegal procedure against Texas. Now let me make one point. This youngster's already kicked it. It's going to now be a 42-yarder, and this line is going to be started at the 10-yard line.
Crowd noise again. Give the crowd credit. 3 penalties in this series against Texas. Texas practiced the other day at their stadium with the fight songs on real loud, but you can never really practice unless you get 79,000 people out there to help you. You never really hear the same type of noise that you're hearing tonight.
Penalty will move it back to the 25-yard line. So now the attempt by Scheretti from the 32, making it a 42-yard attempt. Texas leads 3-0. This would put them on top by 6. Good pass, plenty of distance, and he's got it. Scheretti from 42, so let's take a break. As we roll to break, 8:30 left until halftime with our new score, Texas 6 and Texas A&M nothing. Texas A&M defense on the near sideline talking it over. Mike, when you look at the numbers on this drive, it's a little strange, but the field goal will come, and we'll show you in just a second on what the distance was and the number of plays. As you look at McElroy, number 34, one of the 2 deep men for Texas A&M. Billy Mitchell to his right. McElroy is going to return it from 3 yards deep, and he's got acre to run. Gets by Chiretti, and so long. See ya. 103 yards, Leland McElroy. Leland McElroy with a school record third return for a touchdown on a kickoff. They're saying officially 100 yards as the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So with 8:17 left until the halftime, this is what has just broken this ball game open.
Leland McElroy, number 34, catches the deep kickoff. Now watch the wedge start for him. He waits, sets up his blocks, now breaks to the outside, picks up some good blocks. Now the kicker, Ventulis, just doesn't have the speed. Should have forced him back inside.
Chiretti
should have forced him back inside to try to get some help, but was not able to do it. The speed of Leland McElroy. There's the blocks. Detron Smith, number 44, with a big block. Now the speed of Leland McElroy takes over.
You know, the interesting thing, and Chiretti has got to be kicking himself with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. How could you not kick it out of the end zone?
Well, he kicked it deep. You kick it into the end zone. But what happens a lot of times when the ball's kicked deep like that, someone gets out of their lanes. Third kickoff return for a touchdown this season, an A&M record for Leland McElroy. Big plays, that's what you can't afford to give up. Gary Darnell, the special teams coach of the University of Texas.
Michael Adams and a deep safety for the Longhorns at the 13-yard line. Will take it out to the 34-yard line. Well, the student of the game brought to you by the U.S. Army is Kyle Maxfield. He is a backup defensive back, an outstanding special teams player. He has compiled a 3.25 grade point average in kinesiology. He's a junior athletically and a senior academically. And our congratulations to him being the U.S. Army student of the game. 7-6, Texas A&M on top. 8:13 left until the halftime. They fake the counter tray this time, and Marin's going to run. 5, 10, 15, and he is inside the 50 and all the way down to the 44-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 21 yards by Shea Marin.
Because Sam Adams in the last few plays has really been charging hard inside to stop the counter, John Makovic makes a call where he gives the kind of action that he wants Sam Adams to bite on. You see Sam Adams really work to the wide side of the field. Now Shea Marin's is open for a long gain on the right side. They took advantage of the aggressiveness of Sam Adams.
Jackson with the pitch, breaks off one tackle. Adams will get him as he will go inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line.
The rivalry is something when you think of Texas and Texas A&M. It's the one game when you're coaching at a school, your rival, where you keep an eye on what they're doing every week, in season and out of season. You work on them constantly throughout the year. On your bulletin board, you might be playing Louisville like Texas A&M, but you've got a bulletin board of what's happening in Texas too. You constantly have to beat your rival.
Second and short. Jackson looks for a spot to run. There's not much there as Larry Jackson comes up to make the hit. And now it's going to be a third down situation.
Texas A&M defense, when you think, Ron, the chances that Texas has had here in the first half of scoring a touchdown, you have to credit Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator, and this Wrecking Crew defense. They just will not allow you in that end zone. Only giving up 2 touchdowns this season at home.
Clock runs. We have 6:40 until halftime. A&M 7, Texas 6. Lorenz rolls the pocket, drills the pass, has it complete at the 24-yard line to Michael Adams.
Now Shea Morenz looks to me like he's playing with a little bit more confidence. After the score of Texas A&M with Leland McElroy's run, it looks like now Shea Morenz now has settled down a little bit. Michael Adams with a good out route. Shea Morenz with a good throw to the outside against Aaron Glenn, number 31.
Pressure up the middle. Moran scrambling to his right, will come out of bounds, and boy, does he get tagged at the 23-yard line.
I think it was Antonio Shorter, number 56, and leveled him. You like your quarterback to get out of bounds.
Well, I think next time Shea will either slide or get out of bounds a little quicker.
Well, that's the 19-year-old inning. When he gets a little bit more experience, he'll know he has to get down or get out of bounds.
Any more of those, and he'll never see 20. And now a timeout is called by Texas A&M. So let's take it with them. 5:56 left until halftime. A&M by 1.
So you want to try something different for a change? Drop in anytime, day or night. Pebbles is a great restaurant for casual dining in a sophisticated atmosphere. Choose from creative light bites like black bean quesadillas or spicy duck wings to soups, salads, and special entrees cooked to order. The entire menu is available all day. There's simply no other restaurant like it. Pebbles. Why not try something different for a change? In downtown Orlando, Longwood, Lake Buena Vista, and Winter Park.
Time and Sound has it all. Start living with the latest advances. Get the newest technology. Right from the start, it's a state of the art with the best in quality. Turn it on. You're gonna love the sound. Turn it on. The very best around. Time and Sound has it all. The highest technology at the lowest price. Turn it on.
Glossary primer, number 108. Milk carton.
Sometimes a professional athlete becomes a professional bench warmer. If he's not on the bench, he's in the box, in the dugout, injured, depressed, oh, whatever. He's not out there. You don't see him all season. He's missing. So logically, if he's missing, he should be on a milk carton.
Watch Rome, speak Rome. Talk 2, phone in sports talk with a language all its own. Monday through Friday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2.
One of the yell leaders here at Texas A&M, and you can see that those youngsters wear the rolled up sleeves, and that's it. And folks, it is 32 and falling with 30-mile-an-hour winds. I don't need to tell you what kind of grit it takes to do what he's doing. On second down, the run up the middle. Anthony Holmes will have it to around the 20-yard line. And now for the Horns, it'll be a 3rd down and 5. And Mike, what do you pull out here? Do you pull out the play where Pinckney looked like the first guy out to the workout again, or?
Number 29, Phil Brown, is the player I'm going to give the football to. Either on some quick trap up inside, Ron, because try to trap the defense inside. If I don't make the first down, I have a chance to take the lead with a field goal. Or try to hit him with a little short pass out of the backfield.
Blitz up the middle, and he just throws it away.
So what happens when you're a young quarterback sometimes? You get in a rhythm of calling the signals the same way. It looks to me like Texas A&M showed the blitz but timed it up perfect. Junior White, number 5, a safety, was on the blitz, but they timed the cadence of Shea Moran's right down to the time it was going to be snapped, and they were off on the blitz. He's going to have to change up the cadence a little bit to try to draw A&M off sides.
Scott Chiaretti, who already has a couple of field goals in this ball game tonight, 20 and 42. Will attempt this one from the near hash mark, and a 37-yard attempt. Good pass, good distance, no accuracy here. And Chiaretti misses, wide to the right.
Missed opportunity. Scott Chiaretti, number 3, with the kick. Misses. And a missed opportunity for the Texas offense.
Well, NFL Sunday night, this Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Houston Oilers. A battle for the AFC Central Division lead as both teams are 6-4. Pittsburgh's Rod Woodson leads the NFL with 7 interceptions. Warren Moon and company now playing improved football. A rematch of a couple of very old riders. Pulley lofts the pass, has it complete, and knocked out of bounds immediately as Mitchell.
Corey Pulley had 2 receivers wide open. His tight end, Greg Short, was wide open from the cross. And Brian Mitchell wide open. Good play fake by Corey Pulley, number 4. 4 out of 8 for 52 yards. But the play fake really opened up the wide receivers.
And you can see the numbers on Pulley. He's now 4 of 8. Clock is stopped with 5:02 until halftime. Aggies by 1. Hill to the right side. Big opening, has 5, and out to the 48-yard line.
Going to see the tailback counter this way, and the guard is going to pull and make the block on the defensive end. Greg Hill, you just ran a play a minute ago, the same kind of action, and threw the pass. Now you come back with Tyler Harrison, number 55, the pulling guard. Run the football. Good mix by Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator of A&M.
Hill now 9 carries, 54 yards.
Boy, ever since that kickoff return, the momentum has just really swung to this A&M football team and the crowd. Texas really needs a stop on defense.
Dexter Wesley, number 75, the left tackle. Actually was lined up on the right that time. A very good block to help break the way for Greg Hill. Winford Tubbs, the big middle linebacker for the Texas Longhorns. As you look, and believe it or not, the winds have, well, they subsided maybe a little from the big flags, but it is still very, very breezy. The small American flags at the top of the stadium are just completely straight out. Hill again, pressure in the backfield, and Stoney Clark will hit him and knock him down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 2nd down and 11. He'll lose one.
Bob Toledo talked about Corey Pulley, his quarterback. He said he's vastly improved. He understands our offense, but now he understands defense. He's getting a little bit more experience, and he can make the change at the line of scrimmage and get Texas A&M out of some bad calls. Call comes from the sidelines. Maybe it's not against the defense they like. Corey Pulley can get him out of that play with a check-off.
Again, Pulley drills the pass, has it complete, incomplete now, as Mitchell couldn't hold on at the Texas 41, and it's Bryant Westbrook who is there to make the tackle on him.
What sets this play up, Ron, is the fact that Texas A&M is such a strong running team, and when you get a good play fake out of Corey Pulley, Now he seems to throw the ball across his body a little bit, but the receiver, Mitchell, wide open. I mean, that ball's going to be caught.
Both quarterbacks have had some drop passes tonight.
Cold weather, wet weather affects the wide receivers. Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator, graduate of San Francisco State, played for Victor Rowland out there.
3:31 left until the halftime. Pulling pressure on him again. Lucky to get it away as he was being sandwiched between a couple of defensive players, Thomas Baskin and also Kevin Watler.
Ron, then you're going to look back on this series because this series was a big series for this Texas defense because they had to make the stop and stop this momentum of A&M. And they still have 3:25 on the clock to work with their offense.
James Bennett with his fourth punt. You can see the numbers on Adams that he can burn you just as quickly as McElroy did. Fair catch is signal for and is made at the 28-yard line. So it's a 24-yard kick into the wind, and we have 3:17 left until the halftime. Well, coming up tomorrow, West Virginia and Boston College. Number 3 against number 11, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And you know what both of them did last week? Huge upset wins over Notre Dame and Miami, respectively. That should be a very, very good football game.
It's going to be which team can handle the success of the big win last week. Boston College over Notre Dame. And of course, West Virginia over Miami. Which team can handle the win?
Lorenzo rolled the pocket for him. Still rolling. Now drills the ball and almost intercepted. And that is what has been getting Lorenzen problems. He stared that receiver down, gave the defensive back. You could see him breaking on the ball. And it was almost intercepted.
Freshman mistake, but he just took too long and then wound up to throw the football. This ball should have been intercepted. See him pat the football, too. He's got a bad habit of patting the football before he throws, which will tip off the defensive back to make his break. Junior White, number 5, should have intercepted that football.
The numbers on Lorenz, 3 of 15, 20 yards. Movement at the line of scrimmage. And, well, I couldn't tell. I thought it was Bradley who came out of his stance again. He was the youngster that was having problems back when Texas got the 3 straight penalties from the 10-yard line.
Steve Bradley, 89, a freshman, 6'2", 224. You have to look into the football, especially with the noise factor the way it is tonight. You're a wide receiver, you look in, you get the signals from the quarterback, then you look into the football, and he'll move to the football snap. Receiver again.
And it is caught. Hakes inside the 40, and he's down to the 35-yard line.
Wide open Jimmy Hakes, number 84, and also Lavelle Pinckney was open down the field. Steve Solari, number 94, in coverage against Jimmy Hakes. Felt like that he underplays it a little bit. Watch number 94, Steve Solari. Zone coverage, he gets his drop. Now Jimmy Hakes drifts a little bit. You're going to see Steve Solari just not get back far enough. And there's the pass reception to Jimmy Hakes. Jimmy Hakes never gave up on the throw. Kept running down the field.
40-yard reception by him as the clock runs. 2 minutes and 40 seconds until halftime. Counter Trey. Brown has a blocker in front. Tries to get to the outside, but the speed of the A&M defense is there as there were 1, 2, and then 3 Aggies, bam, 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 to knock him out of bounds.
Now, they blocked it different this time. They blocked Sam Adams on the counter. They blocked back on him. So they ran the counter that play. Still didn't have a lot of success, only picked up a yard. But, Ron, there's 2:32 on the clock, and Texas has 1 timeout. They've got to get in field goal range to take this lead before halftime. Texas has 3 timeouts, A&M 1 timeout. time for the Texas offense.
Blitz up the middle, and they go with the pitch. Brown runs into his own man, and then also one of the A&M defenders. Antonio Shorter, Junior White, will corral him, and now it's going to be a third down situation.
You see more and more blitz out of the Texas A&M defense because, again, they're timing up Shea Morenz.
Under 2 minutes left until halftime.
2 out of 9 for Texas on third down. Not very good.
Blitz, pass over the middle. He's got a man there, overthrown as Adams had beaten the coverage. But Morenz had to get it away with the prayer. He was under so much pressure.
Keep repeating it, but they're timing up the cadence of Shea Morenz, and they're coming with the blitz, and they're not able to pick it up. Shea Morenz really did a nice job getting his football out. You see the linebackers coming on the snap of the ball. He doesn't have time enough to get this football off. But he still is able to get a pretty good throw out there, but just overthrows Michael Adams.
So now Schirati to attempt a field goal of 48 yards. Good pass, plenty of distance on this one, and he's good. Scott Schirati, 3 of 4 tonight. This one from 48, and the Horns go back on top 9-7.
The good news is you're ahead 9-7. The bad news is you have to kick off to Leland McElroy.
Well, the bottom line is, you don't have to kick to McElroy.
No, I'd say he should drill this one with this wind. He should drill it out of the end zone. Or keep it away from Leland McElroy. But, Ron, you have to credit Texas. The long kickoff return, and they're able to take the balls. 2 big plays to get back down and take the lead. It'd be important for this Texas football team with the youth that they have to go in the locker room with the halftime lead.
Coming up at halftime, NFL highlights, also the halftime blitz, and giving back on Thanksgiving. Dancing a lot more at halftime.
What a great day, Thanksgiving. I know I'm very thankful, and I know you are too. I mean, it's great. We live in a great country, great opportunities.
A lot of times, obviously, we take for granted, but hopefully more and more people on days like today that we do get with our families and our loved ones, and we help people that are in need and do make it truly a day of thanks. Now let's watch this coverage of the kick from the rear angle and see what you see. Schirati's kick, and he'll kick it on the ground. Knocked down by one of the up blockers, and this kick will be to the 33-yard line. Anthony is the man who fielded the ball. 6 plays, 40 yards, 48-yard field goal, and Texas used 1 minute and 41 seconds on that drive.
It's interesting, Ron, when we sat in the press box the other day and watched practice with Darrell Royal, and he talked about the rivalry, and I asked him, I said, how many coaches did you coach against at A&M? And he started naming them. He went through about 6 that he put into other fields while he was coaching at the University of Texas with a lot of success, but a lot of great coaches at A&M that he went against that he had a lot of respect for.
Another screen. Greg Hill gets a block and a lot of running room. The screen pass to Greg Hill.
What sets the screen up is you're going to see Greg Hill just step to the left, and then he'll just angle here to allow his blockers to get in front of him on the screen. They really invite the Texas defensive lineman to come on in. Now he just slips outside, picks up some key blocks, and a big, big first down.
Ball resting at the Texas 37-yard line as we go under 1 minute until halftime. Pulling, fakes the reverse, going to go up on top, and he's looking for his running back, and Texas had that one scouted all the way, and now here comes a flag.
Well, there's no doubt this is offensive interference. I think Cliff Gross will be called for pass interference offensively. There's just no way it can be anything else.
Michael, you are right.
Well, he actually became a defender on this thing and just reached out and grabbed a hold of the Texas defender. Going to see number 33, Cliff Gross. See him reach his hand. He's in a mugging Chris Carter, number 16, to keep him from intercepting the football. Cliff was well covered by Chris Carter.
You see the timeouts left. A&M has one. The clock with 51 seconds until halftime. Texas 9, Texas A&M 7.
Middle screen.
Oh, some running room as white jersey started to cover it up, and then Harrison lost his footing. And you're right, on this side of the field it looks as though there was a lot of green.
Ron, they're trying to take advantage of the fact that Texas plays a lot of man coverage, and if you can pick the wide receiver's man and you got the middle screen called, I mean, you can have a big play.
You can see what Pullig is doing. The officials have stopped play momentarily as they have a question. And Pullig is saying, to heck with that, come back here and huddle with me so I can call at least one play, if not sequence a couple, with 30 seconds left until halftime.
And he has to be ready to go as soon as they rule the play in to start.
And Texas knows full well that the man they need to watch on this play also is 34, Leland McElroy, the redshirt freshman out of Beaumont Central.
Why didn't the clock start there?
Pressure, ball is tipped in the air, and I believe Johnson, Brian Johnson, number 13, is the man who tipped it.
Good pressure by Texas. Robert Reed, Brian Johnson, number 13. They pressured Corey Pullig. But Ron, why didn't the clock start when they put the play back in, when the referee made the call? I would have figured that the play clock would have started.
I don't know, because it was a completed pass.
Then they stopped and huddled a little bit. Then they started to play, but the clock didn't move. Now I think that's what they're talking about down here. The officials, if you look in the middle of the field, they're in a conference. There's 26 seconds left. There shouldn't be 26 seconds on that clock.
Well, now Texas is saying, wait a minute, don't penalize us.
The clock did not move after they had their conference, and it should have moved. I'm sure John Makovic's aware of that.
R.C. Slocum paces on the near side. The offense is back on the field, and it is third down rather than fourth down.
John looks satisfied with what he's telling him.
I remember the middle screen that Harrison fell down, and in the pass that he got chased back to the 40-yard line, and I can't think of another play, so we're double checking here.
Maybe we'll get, well, he's coming over to talk to R.C. Slocum now.
And then there was one more play, and that was because of the penalty that the down was replayed and the offensive pass interference.
Here's what I'm talking about, Ron. Now the ball is being put in play. He starts the clock, but the clock doesn't move. So there's a good 4, 5, 6 seconds that's still on this clock. So we'll see if it comes back to affect Texas or not.
I think the question is whoever was working the downs marker had counted the offensive pass interference as a loss of down, which it is not.
The old rule.
towards third. Pulley under pressure, goes on top, looking for Harrison, and he's got it at the 14-yard line.
Tony Harrison versus Brian Westbrook, and when you play a lot of man coverage, you get in situations where a quarterback will put it up. Corey Pulley and Tony Harrison just did a better job of coming back to the football. The ball was underthrown. Now there's 18 seconds left.
31 yards in the pass play. And now the fade route. Harrison in the end zone. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
Came right back to Tony Harrison, man-to-man coverage on the fade route. Brian Westbrook, number 30, was the corner in coverage.
Now flags come down and movement on the extra point.
I'll tell you, Ron, now I would think about going for 2 here. If you get this penalty on Texas with the score 13-9, I'd try to pick up 2 points and make it a 6-point lead.
That's what they're going to do, too.
Down by, you're ahead by 4. 1 point just puts you up 5, but 2 points puts you up by 6 points. Tony Harrison, number 3 on the fade, just wide open, beats Bryant Westbrook, number 30. An excellent throw by Corey Pulley. Now, Ron, they can go up by 6 if they can make this 2-point conversion. A good call by R.C. Slocum to go for the 2.
Tony Harrison, he has been the hero of this drive that just got him the touchdown. Mitchell in motion. They'll go with the running play, and Hill will score the 2.
Picked up a big block by Detron Smith, number 44. As you see the heads of the Texas defense, they're a little bit discouraged as they come off the field. Still only down by 6.
So we have 12 seconds left until halftime. And let's send it back to Chris Fowler. Chris?
All right, Ron, and happy Thanksgiving to you guys from all of us here. At halftime, the Blitz, and we'll show you the finish of that wild Dolphins-Cowboys game. This afternoon in college football, Georgia Tech, a little Turkey Day brawl with the Bulldogs piling it on late in the 4th quarter. Eric Zier, the touchdown pass on 4th and goal, made it 43-10, and then things get ugly here. The Jackets and Bulldogs scuffling all over the field. Coach Ray Goff gets involved and ends up heaving a couple of his players out of the way. The final 43-10. They both finish at 5 and 6. Louisville shuts out Tulsa, but Jeff Brom, a strained back and a broken index finger. And in Division III, St. John's a late field goal to beat the Stony Brook Patriots. See you at halftime. Let's go back now to College Station.
Westbrook on the sideline being consoled by his teammates, and he's got another half of football to play. He better forget what happened on that drive.
Ron, he's a freshman. He's a freshman defensive back. You're going to make mistakes. Tony Harrison's a senior receiver working against him. It's an experienced football team at Texas A&M. They just keep working at you.
Penatunias to kick it off, and I'm going to be amazed if he kicks it off to Adams and gives him an opportunity to put Texas back in front of the ballgame.
Greg Hill on the touchdown gets a good block by number 44, the fullback. And a good block by Detron Smith, and there's just nobody outside.
And a reaction by R.C. Slocum on the 2-point conversion. So it is 15-9, Texas A&M, and we should have time for one play before they head to the locker room.
Hail Mary. And Texas A&M will play deep with the defensive backs. Their job is to protect the goal line.
Lorenz rolls the pocket. Drills it, has it complete, and I believe the clock had run out. It is complete to Adams. He will be given forward progress to the 43. And let's make sure there are no flags on the field.
Well, they're talking about if there's any time left here. Texas has not left the field. Nope, the referees are saying they're out of time.
That is halftime. So let's take a break. As we head to intermission, our score, Texas A&M 15 and the Texas Longhorns 9. Halftime is next. Texas 15-9, our halftime score. Texas A&M leading the Texas Longhorns as the Aggies are making their way back out on the field. And Mike, how about these numbers in the first 30 minutes?
Well, when you look at it, Ron, I think the key numbers are first down average, 8.4 for Texas A&M. That's big. Even though it's only 1.4 rushing yards, you have to put in the sacks in there also. But I think the key again is the fact that Texas A&M is winning first down. The rushing chart of the Texas Longhorns, there's one reason why they're not running the football in the middle, and that's Sam Adams. He's just controlling the middle of the football field to try to run the football. They're having a little more success on the outside, 12 attempts for 62 yards, so they've got to continue to try to get the ball outside against the A&M defense.
Mike, very good news. We didn't know what to expect in the second half. The winds have continued, but we don't see any moisture flying right now, which is a very good way. As you look at those flags, it's really gusting close to 30 miles an hour, but at least there's no moisture coming down.
Well, John Makovic had a big decision to make when he has a choice here in the second half, and he made the choice of taking the football. I would have done the same thing. Now, you're going to take the third quarter in the win, but if he can stay close in the third quarter, then he has a chance to win it at the wire, and that has to be his thinking.
You know, that has to have been also what he told his ball club in the locker room to start this ball game, because as you mentioned at the end of the first quarter, they were acting as though that was a victory, and the fact that they were leading 3-0.
They won the first quarter. The second quarter, they just made some mistakes. And I'd still like to know why that clock didn't move. When the officials had their conference, after the conference, why the 30 seconds didn't start.
Donatulis with the kickoff. And this is to Adams at the 5. And Adrian Carson, what do you have for us?
Ron, from the Longhorn locker room at halftime, a phrase that has been the kind of the catchphrase for this entire team all season long. Guys were told by the coaches, look, guys, remember, tough times never last, but tough people do. This has got to be your half now. Over on the A&M side, Coach Slocum said, look, guys, take a deep breath, calm down, start playing your game. It is time. Emotion, forget the emotion, and the talent has got to take over.
Ron, the Texas is using the Robert Schuller. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. So they're borrowing from Reverend Schuller.
Texas works into the wind in this third quarter. Moran's going to throw on first down, zings it, and has it complete, and that is the first reception by Lavelle Pinckney, I believe, in the ball game, isn't it?
It is the first catch, Ron. I'd marked it down at halftime that the big wide receiver out of Washington, D.C., who's used to playing in cold weather. One of the reporters asked him the other day, do you remember playing in cold weather in high school? He said, I love to play in that zero weather. You see Sam Adams hitting Shea Moran's, but there's the catch by Lavelle Pinckney.
Sam might have gotten away with what could have been a 15-yard penalty there. He came down across his throat after he hit him in the head. Curtis Jackson. Boy, you can see the tag there as Adams comes up to be one of the first A&M players to make the hit.
When we were over at Texas on Tuesday, they had a sign by the locker room, and it just kept going on and off. A neon sign said the battle lasts 60 minutes. The victory lasts a lifetime. And as Darrell Royal put it the other day, when you play your rival and you lose, you live with it for 365 days till you get another shot at them. So you do not want to lose to your rival.
Second down, pressure up the middle. Moraes will be hit, and he's sacked. Steve Solari and Lance Tackleman.
Bob Davie, as the second quarter started coming to an end, started bringing pressure. The wide rush, they are moving Steve Solari out a little wider, and the pressure, and also Lance Tackleman, number 58, from the inside, just beat the Texas offensive line.
That's a loss of 9 on the sack. Third down, and the line to make is all the way across midfield to the A&M 44.5-yard line. They set screen, and as soon as the ball is caught, hit behind the line, and an incomplete pass as Atkinson was there to mess up the whole thing.
Man coverage there, but it's a screen to the back, and Jason Atkinson read it right away. He has the back man for man. Phil Brown, he just beat the block of the offensive lineman. You see John Makovic talking to Blake Brockermeyer, the tackle. Jason Atkinson was able to come underneath him.
Bosick stands back waiting for the snap at the 27-yard line. Line drive kick to Aaron Glenn. He will run away from it. Now was on the ground, and the Aggies had a player who had fallen down there and had to get up and get away from the football. It's 38 yards on the punt. And Adrian, let's go to you.
Well, Ron, just to put a period on what Coach was talking about there, the game is 60 minutes, yes, but the memories last a lifetime. The last thing the seniors asked each other, they said, look, we don't win this game. We've got no bowl to go to. This could be the last football game we ever play. How do you want to remember?
It's an emotional ball game, the last ball game for a senior, whether you're on the road or at home. Texas has one shot to continue this season, and it's here tonight. They don't win tonight, Ron. The basketball's out.
Full exchange, hands it off to Hill. He will go left side for close to 5 yards. Out to around the 28.5-yard line as Kevin Wattler, the senior from Stratford, is there to make the stop on him.
Well, Leon Fuller, defensive coordinator, has to be pleased with the way his defense has played tonight. They're getting good effort out of Tony Brackens up inside, Stoney Clark. They're able to try to handle that big Texas A&M offensive line, 289, 267, 285. I mean, they're just big offensive line for A&M.
Incomplete. It was Mitchell that they wanted. He's a junior out of Dallas Carter. Ball is thrown just a little bit short, and it'll be third down A&M.
What makes the curl route a good route is you're going to see Corey Polig roll to the right side. What makes the curl route go is that a receiver will go in the flat and take out the underneath coverage, and then when Brian Mitchell runs the curl, he's wide open. But the throw was in the ground.
All three tailbacks, McElroy, Hill, and Thomas, lining up. They roll the pocket, they swing it in the flat, and it's caught by Hill, and he drops the football. And now they say incomplete pass, and let's see what the marker is, thrown at the line of scrimmage.
That's the alumni formation when you put those three great backs in the backfield at the same time, but they've had some success with that tonight. You know how all the alumni are. They say, you got all those three backs, why don't you put them in the game same time? So this is the alumni formation. They'll get out of it and go back to a conventional set and hope the receivers around the country are not watching.
You have to say Texas is going to decline.
Which is declined.
Right.
Fourth down.
That was a third down play that was dropped. So it will be kicking time for James Bennett.
This is the end, and Michael Adams had his good punt return. This should be a return by Texas all the way.
Football is hard. Didn't want to turn over as Adams takes it up the far side, breaks one tackle, and he'll take it to the 44. Now here comes in a late flag. So we'll hold it before we go to break and see what the marker is all about. Personal foul against the Longhorns. So rather than taking over with great field position at the 45, they're going to go back to around their own 30.
Penalties have really hurt Texas tonight.
So we'll take a break. 11:59 left in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
Let's talk about personal fouls and late hits. In this play, a player has been hit after he has been downed. What is the penalty?
Today, a woman needs a life insurance plan of her own.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's there for you today and there tomorrow, too. You see, we start you out right with a plan specifically designed for a woman's needs, one that protects the people who count on you for so very much. And it's
Well, we are back. It looked as though that they were not going to take a full timeout. They did not, and now they are. Oh, my. Okay. That break that we came out of, I have a feeling we can't jump right back into. So, Michael? Now they're going to whistle it right back in play.
Talked to Steve Hatcho at halftime. He came by to see us, and fine commissioner of the Southwest Conference.
He's got a tough job, but he also thinks he can get it done down here. And he has made a lot of headway in a very short period of time. Well, Mike, at the line of scrimmage, and a stance ready to snap the ball. That is 5 times off the top of my head I can remember that right there has happened to Texas. Inexcusable in the 11th game of the year.
Crowd noise is such a factor here, Ron, with the 79,000, and they're yelling. And but again, you're right. You must look in at the football.
Sorry to say, it's not a surprise that there's 79,000.
No, we knew they were coming.
Yes, I think we did.
And I'm sure Troy Reamer knew they were coming.
7 against the Longhorns, 3 against the Aggies. Penalties tonight. Lorenz with the quick pass tries to get an isolation with Adams. And Aaron Glenn is not only up to the task, makes the hit and throws him out of bounds.
When you run a one-back offense, you have to make some adjustments to the depth of the back. When Texas leaves their one-back 8 yards, you see Phil Brown here. When he's back 8 yards, they can do a lot of things running the ball outside. But when he moves up, he's getting a check off. Now he's moving up close. Now the only thing they can do now is throw a pass or run the ball inside. A&M knows that also.
Take the counter, roll the pocket, and Morenz is going to carry it. And he will take it close to the 35. Ball is loose, and they say, nope, play is dead at the 34.
I think Shane Morenz made a good choice there to run that football because A&M had good coverage. And where he looks the most effective as a quarterback is getting outside in the pocket. He's looking to throw the ball, but Larry Jackson, number 37, is going to put a hit on him. And the ball comes out, but he gets a call from the officials that he was down.
Tackleman saying, how could it be? And the official says, it was dead. Third down. Texas needs the 39. Zings it incomplete. Adams is who he wanted at the 49. Aaron Glenn with the cover.
What happened on that play, Ron, was Mike Adams slipped coming out of his break. He was open. Ball was thrown on the money. He just slipped and couldn't come out of his break. Aaron Glenn has good coverage, but Mike Adams, you're going to see him come out of his break. Watch him plant. Now watch him slip. See that little slip? He lost the football. He lost the ball with his eyes.
Still should have caught that football, though.
Should have caught the football, but the little slip cost him that reception.
Wayne Boschick to punt. I think the thing that Texas also has to get going is number 80 has been a non-entity for the most part in this ball game.
One catch.
Ball takes an A&M bounce. Touched dead by Texas around the 40. 24 yards with the punt into the win. Let's take a timeout. 15-9. Texas Aggies.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Thursday Night Football is brought to you by your GM Goodwrench dealer. Hey, we want your business. And by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
So this time you look at the Texas Longhorn bench, and then some of the band members, rain apparel, very evident. And for the first time since about 2 hours before game time, we don't have any moisture coming down here. And it's a very good thing because it's below freezing now, but the winds continue to gust to close to 30. Hill breaks the tackle, and he'll take it across the 45 to the 47.
A lot of pressure on the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M because, especially from the student body, because they celebrate by kissing after every score. If you're an offensive coordinator here, you better put some points on the board. The students are going to get after you.
I have a feeling a lot of them have rehearsed, though, in the first half and at halftime, as cold as it is. Wouldn't you imagine?
Some of those games when Bob Toledo scored 45 points, you could go from the first kiss to being engaged.
Over his own man. He's close to an A&M first down as Watler is down in the bottom of the stack, and from where they have marked him at the Longhorn 48-yard line, he will have the first down.
Greg Hill starting to heat it up now. Now the running game of Texas A&M plays a factor. 13 rushing attempts for 70 yards. What Bob Toledo would like to happen, and R.C. Slocum, is this offensive line just start controlling the line of scrimmage and start pounding the football at this Texas defense.
Play action after the two successful running plays, and ball throws it intercepted. Chris Carter with the pickoff, and he'll take it back to the 43-yard line.
Then there's a flag too, Ron. Personal foul on Texas A&M, Ron, but what made this play was Leon Fuller with a great adjustment. He moves Chris Carter, the safety, up to try to stop the running game. You're going to see number 16 to the right of your screen. You see this free safety? He's moved up as a linebacker now. Now Corey Pulling never sees him because he's in a different spot, and he makes the interception.
We're double checking it, but we are told that it's Pullig who the 15-yard penalty was on.
Frustration after the interception.
Penalty moves it to the Aggie 41. Bill Brown hit in the backfield. Atkinson is there to knock it down for a 2-yard loss.
Ron, let's go back to that play and the adjustment that Leon Fuller made. Here's the safety. Number 16, he's almost playing like a linebacker. There's Watler, and here's the free safety. Corey Pullick never sees him. He thinks he's still in the middle of the football field. There's the fake. Now he looks back. He never sees number 16, Chris Carter. What a call by Leon Fuller, the defensive coordinator.
And showing blitz in the middle. Perez gets his pass away. Got one-on-one coverage, and Pinckney, as you could see, couldn't get back around to get to that one, and it's going to be a third down.
What you might have to do if you're Texas, because you can't handle the blitz, is go to 2 tight ends. Take your both wide receivers to the side and run 2 receiver routes. The other thing is go to the shotgun, where you get the direct snap, you get more of a view of the blitz, and you can dump the ball off a little sooner. One of the 2 John Mackovic might take a look at.
Here comes the blitz. Morantz gets it away, and it is knocked away by Hendricks. McLemore is the intended receiver.
See, Ron, if he was in the shotgun, he'd have a little bit more time to set his feet, because the blitz is just on him. He never gets a chance to set his feet. He's a target. He's got a target on his chest right now. Shea Morantz. I think John Mackovic's saying they're offside. They're coming so fast. Eric England, number 92, but you see him drifting backwards. Anytime a quarterback's drifting backwards like that and throws the ball, usually it's going to be intercepted, because you never have anything on it. You're throwing a high fly out there.
Well, Mike, a bad snap over the punter's head in the first half, and now an intercepted pass, and Texas comes away with no points off either situation.
But, Ron, they're winning the field position war, and they will have a shot, if this game continues like it is, to win it at the wire.
Timeout on the field with 8 minutes left in the third. We'll be right back.
There's a timeout on the field.
Well, Earl Campbell, November the 26th, 1977, the 84th game in this series. It was his last regular season game, and Mike, he had 222 yards. He scored 5 touchdowns, including a TD reception, the only one of his collegiate career.
You know, I've always been impressed with him as a football player, but I was really impressed the other day when he came to do his interview with ESPN. He brought his barber with him. So he was cutting his hair just before he went on TV. I thought that was pretty impressive.
You know, the truth be known, I think that was someone else's barber. Breaks it to the outside, McElroy, and he'll be shot out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And this freshman from Beaumont Central is always one play from putting you behind, or the Aggies further ahead in a football game.
You're right. R.C. Slocum says he reminds him a lot of Marshall Falk, San Diego State whiz. As a running back, said he's built just like Marshall Falk. He said he runs just like him, and Leland McElroy will make R.C. Slocum, will give him a lot of wins here at Texas A&M.
7 minutes, 53 seconds left to play, third quarter. 15-9, Texas A&M. Pitch to McElroy. Tries to turn the corner. Malone will grab him and knock him down after a 2-yard gain.
There's an impressive football player for Texas, Van Malone. Defensive back that a lot of pro people really like. 6-foot senior, very aggressive, a sure tackler.
McElroy's shaken up on that play. That tackle made by Malone, it looks as though that he might have injured an ankle. So that means if you lose McElroy, now you have to square off against Greg Hill. He takes it right up the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles, going to be short of the first down. A&M will scrimmage with a third down and about a yard. Let's take a look at that injury.
Right ankle. He caught up under Van Malone, number 8. Rodney Thomas reports into the game. They've got a little problem because they got 2 tailbacks in. But they may move Thomas to fullback on this play.
That's normally what happens when they have them both in there.
I think they've got a problem.
Going to cost them a timeout as the 25-second clock was down to 4. So we'll take a break. 6:32 left in the third quarter. We'll be right back. The youngster enjoying some popcorn at tonight's ballgame. Hard to tell who they're pulling for. Is that a young Aggie or a young Longhorn?
Yeah, when he's pulling for more popcorn.
Well, we talked about the situation with McElroy, and then Hill came in after the injury, and of course you got Thomas. It's really a back-breaking situation if you're somebody like the defensive coordinator for Texas. I mean, Leon has to look at this. Hill, Thomas, and McElroy, and look at their numbers. Yards rushing in tonight's ball game, and of course, over the long haul of the season, they've averaged far more than that.
And there's McElroy being taped on the sideline, so we may see him again. Rodney Thomas in at fullback.
Sharp, the tight end, in motion. And they give it to Thomas at the left side, and on the short yardage play, third down, he'll have the first.
Now Greg Hill returns to the ball game. Tailback position. R.C. Slocum continues to move the running backs in and out, keeping them fresh.
The tackler, number 93, Tony Clark, and 98 from the American.
You got three as good as those three. I mean, you can keep them all on the field. Bob Toledo's a lucky offensive coordinator to have that depth at the tailback position.
And to have the depth happy. Greg Hill. Van Malone, one of the freshmen there, along with Jason Reeves, number 88.
Winfred Tubbs really has to step up and take this on, but he's going to step up. And number 44, Detron Smith, the fullback, is able to get in there and get a key block. And now you have Greg Hill running loose in the secondary, and your free safety, Van Malone's making a tackle.
Well, the Texas A&M Aggies, 9-1. They are undefeated in conference play. But they need to win this one tonight if they're going to go to the Cotton Bowl. And that is what is at stake, along with bragging rights for a full year against the Texas Longhorns. Right now, it's the Aggies on top 15-9 as we go under 6 minutes to play third quarter.
Ron, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They came right back with the same play. Now watch the fullback, Detron Smith, number 44. He's going to block on number 44, Winfred Tubbs. Now Tubbs steps up, meets it, and makes the tackle. That's what he didn't do on the last play. Now he stepped up, takes on the block, and makes the tackle. That's how you shut off the isolation play.
Thomas, the fullback in this situation, takes it straight ahead. Watkins has him around the ankle, and he'll stop him at the 45. And if you're R.C. Slocum, this is just exactly what you want to happen. You want to eat up some clock and also move it down the field and come away with points.
And if you're John Makovic on the other side of the field, you have one eye on the field, what's happening, and you're watching that clock move. 4:43 on the clock, and you want this quarter to end so you can get the wind.
Well, look at this. Some adjustments at halftime. I would say definitely yes.
Comes a blitz by Texas.
And Hill gets sandwiched. You can see Reeves and Brackens coming up to make the hit. Reed, I should say.
They ran right into the blitz in the secondary. Robert Reed, number 40. Look at the top of the screen. Robert Reed working up inside. Now just good penetration by the Texas defense. Tony Brackens, Robert Reed.
So it is fourth down to James Bennett with his 6th punt this evening. Michael Adams for Texas. Kick off the side of his foot, but he's kicking with the wind, and it's going to take an Aggie roll at the 1 and into the end zone. Well, the CFA special Friday afternoon tomorrow. Number 3 against number 11. West Virginia travels to Beantown to take on Boston College, and of course both teams fresh off huge wins last weekend. The Mountaineers still in the national title hunt, but they got to defeat the Eagles in their backyard this weekend. A huge Big East matchup on ESPN tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Big defensive stand again by the University of Texas.
Lorenz near side, incomplete. Pinckney's the man who's the closest fellow to it, but not nearly close enough.
Lavelle Pinckney's working against Ray Mickens and really has a height advantage. That's 6'5" versus 5'8". But 5'8" Mickens is in great shape in the coverage on Lavelle Pinckney. And that was not a good throw by Shea Morenz.
Turn the corner. He'll have a couple, and that's it before Michael Hendricks, the junior from San Antonio, comes up to belt him out of bounds.
Texas A&M has been so successful on defense under Bob Davie. Is when you're that successful as they've been and you control this league, you become a target because everybody works on your defense. They copy it, people use it, but also you study it continually to try to find a weakness. There's Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator. 2 for 12 on third down. A&M's own third down.
Lorenz breaks away from Adams, trying to run for his life, and finally he's going to be stopped at the 25-yard line, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Sam Adams again. Bob Davie talked about Sam Adams. He said he's so explosive. His first step, he's just on you so quick that he's in the backfield. Bob Davie interviewed for the Baylor job last year when Chuck Reedy was given the post.
Bostic's kick, a low line drive, and that thing hits and just dies. And you can tell, although they changed the footballs in the cold evening, that leather just gets so hard, and Bostic's having trouble getting that thing to pooch at all.
He's going to tell his managers, put a heater in that bag with that football before you send it out there.
.26 yards in the kick, and the Aggies will take it over at their own 49-yard line. Sam Adams puts on the winter harnessing on the near side. He is one of the 4 Lombardi finalists, along with Derek Brooks of Florida State, Rob Waldrop of Arizona, and Aaron Taylor, big offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Counter tray for the Aggies. And Thomas breaks a tackle, and then there's Malone. Good heavens, Malone came and took him with a shoulder-high grab that time.
Ron, he's just a sure tackler. When he hits you, you're hit. Rodney Thomas will break through the line, and there you see the tackle, the high tackle by Van Malone.
Bullock rolls the pocket, dumps it out in the flat, nobody's home. De'Tron Smith finally stopped at the 29-yard line, and there was nobody from Texas within any close distance at all.
What happens on the play is the fullback will slip out in the flat. Here's number 44, Winfred Tubbs, who has to work that way. But the play fake, watch Winfred Tubbs. He gets picked, first of all, by the tight end. Tight end really picks him on the play. Pretty good play call by Texas A&M. The old basketball pick.
Mitchell in motion. That's the pitch. Comes to Thomas. Brackens down at the bottom of the stack along with Jason Reeves. And he will take it to the 25-yard line. Going to be a gain of 5.
Texas needs a stop badly to stay in this ball game. Leon Fuller, the defensive coordinator, The clock now becomes a factor in your thinking, too. There's 58 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Longhorns right now 52 seconds away from getting the wind at their back. Thomas, quick cut. Has 5 yards and then goes inside the 20. That'll be a 1st and 10 A&M as Van Malone comes up from the secondary to make the stop.
Well, the first thing you think of when Van Malone keeps making tackles, that's problems, because you're making those tackles 8 yards deep. Dexter Wesley, number 75, the left tackle, really got a big block to spring Rodney Thomas. But you don't like your safeties making, you calling their names, making their tackles every play.
You can see Van.
Nothing against you, but I mean, you've got to make the call.
Straight ahead with the handoff, and this time Kevin Watler is there to hit Detron Smith as they give the quick handoff to the fullback. He'll have 3.5 yards.
Texas be happy this clock moves to get to the fourth quarter.
See, Malone has got the ear holes taped up there to keep that cold air out as we're about to head to the final 15 minutes of this one. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. So let's take a timeout with our score. Texas A&M 15 and Texas 9. Of Aggie and Texas Longhorn football. And let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Adrian.
Ron, they think they found a weak spot on the right side of the Texas defensive line here. What they want to do, depending on the defensive look they show them, is send their tail back between the guard and the tackle. Also, the indication is if they score, they're going for 2 once again.
Well, that would be the proper call because you'd be ahead 21-9 and you want to move up to 14 points, so it would be a 2-point call. University of Texas in a good defense. They're 11 up.
And off and Watler in the backfield. Good heavens, he almost took the football from Rodney Thomas.
From the snap of the ball, Ron, that was a good call by Leon Fuller because moved up to 11 up defense. What I'm talking about there is you've got all 11 people about 5 yards away from the football. Kevin Watler just makes the hit in the backfield, and the key for this is Corey Pulling needed to get out of this play. Didn't make the call. Texas with a big defensive play now forcing them into 3rd and long.
Remember, Thomas did well to hold on to the football.
Remember down here the last time, the fade route to Tony Harrison, or to Brian Mitchell, rather.
Going the other way. Has a man there. It's hit by Carter and knocked away.
Well, Texas played the play perfectly. They scored the touchdown on the fade. So what do you do if you're Texas? You double up both wide receivers. Tony Harrison, number 3, you're going to see him work. Now you think he's got the fade. Now watch another defender enter the picture. Number 16, Chris Carter. They wanted to bait him to throw the fade. Chris Carter should have had the interception.
Denatulius to attempt a 35-yard field goal. This time Terry is kicking into the wind. Good pass, plenty of distance, but you could see it hook off at the last moment, and he is no good. So let's take a break. 14:08 left in the ball game. 15-9 Texas A&M. Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, glad to have you with us from College Station, Texas. Thanksgiving night, the 100th meeting between these two great universities. And right now it is a lot of precincts reporting to the Aggies on top 15-9, and the Horns are still very much in this one. Brown caught for the ankle. Solari got him as he crosses the 25 to the 27-yard line. You made the point to me at breakfast this morning that the longer Texas stayed in this football game, the longer they hung around, the better opportunity that man right there would have of pulling an upset.
He's got the shot at the upset. You get to the fourth quarter with the wind at your back, you're in pretty good shape.
What do you do now, Mike?
best Shea Morenz can do is roll to the right. Now they're giving formation. They need to get the ball to LaBelle Pinckney and still continue to work Phil Brown.
They swing the pass out to Curtis Jackson. He will have the first down as he takes it to the 31-yard line. Here's an interesting number, Mike, as far as the third quarter. A decided advantage to the Aggies, but they don't really get anything as far as points.
No score, so they possessed the football with the wind at their back, no score. Ron, here's an excellent opportunity for John Mackovic to roll out Shea Morenz, play action to the right side. He's better throwing to his right than he is running to his left.
Big opening at the middle. 5-10, Jackson breaks it. Caught from behind at the 40-yard line. Phil Brown, I beg your pardon, 29 rather than 39. And only a shoestring tackle kept him from going the distance.
I think it was Junior White that made the shoestring tackle, but Phil Brown is so dangerous, and he's the player that really has to be the player. You get the ball in his hands. Good block by Dan Neal, the center, but watch. No, I take that back. No, it is going to be number 5. What an effort by number 5, Junior White. He was down, missed him one time, but able to keep his balance, come back and make play. Look at him. There he misses him. Now watch the man, number 5, come back and make the play. Catalog that play by Junior White. That may end up being the play of the game.
You're right. It's a gain of 29, and White is the man who's shaken up on the play.
Remember the point earlier that Texas A&M has only given up their defense 2 touchdowns this season at home. They have been able to keep people out of the end zone. Ball on the left hash. You still have Shea Morenz rolling to the right side. Bevo's confident, Ron. I'm looking at him in the end zone. He's down, taking a good view.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of Texas A&M. Middle linebackers show blitz, and again, one of the tight ends comes out of their stance.
The other way to solve this problem when you're in a situation like this, of course, it negates checking off. But what you can do is come up and go on the first sound where there is no opportunity to move and jump. Jimmy Hakes, the tight end, number 84, is going to jump. There's the movement. There's the penalty. The penalties have really hurt Texas this evening.
Penalties in the second half. Aggies have not been penalized. There you see for the ball game. 8 for 47 yards. Inside, only gain 1. It'll be a 2nd down and 14. You have to remember the job that the Texas defense has done tonight because of the 15 points scored. One of those touchdowns came off the 100-yard kick return by McElroy, so it means that Texas vaunted, our defense has held his vaunted Aggie offense to only 1 score in this game.
And a solid defensive effort on both sides. One-on-one on the outside for LaBelle Pinckney.
Swat. England and Adams combining in the sack.
When Texas A&M decides to blitz, Texas cannot handle the blitz. Sam Adams, number 95. Eric England, number 92. Number 56, Antonio Shorter. No one's being blocked. It's meet at the quarterback time. Now you're third and a long acre here. You got to put the ball up for grabs. You got to try to get Michael Adams or LaBelle Pinckney down the field.
Texas goes shotgun, and a timeout is called by Texas A&M. And we'll take it with them. 11:06 left in the ball game. Aggies by 6. 15-9. Texas A&M, because of the injury to Junior White, they were trying to get an extra defensive back on. Because of his injury, that's the reason they were a man short, so they had to use a timeout.
You're right, Ron. What they tried to do is that fouled up their nickel scheme because they lost the defensive back and they didn't have the right substitution in. Texas now going with a shotgun. Shane Renz will get a better look here at least.
Going to go on top. Deep, looking for Adams, and incomplete at the 3-yard line. Donovan Greer, Donovan Greer's the man that got a hand on it.
I would expect John Makovic now the next time they get the football to come back into the shotgun because Shane Renz had a little bit more time to throw. Through the deep football looking for Mike Adams, number 83, but well covered by Michael Hendricks, number 40, Donovan Greer, number 30. Third and long, tough time to throw the deep ball against A&M with their nickel scheme in.
Bosick with the wind at his back stands back at the 35. Going to be touchdown at the 15-yard line, and let's check in with Adrian Karsten, who has a special guest from the Cotton Bowl.
Special guest indeed, Ron. Mr. Bob Smith, who is president of the Cotton Bowl Athletic Association. Bob, you got to be pretty proud of the fact that once again the representative in your bowl comes down to one of the greatest traditions of college football on Thanksgiving night.
Absolutely, Adrian. The Southwest Conference, this just proves how strong they are, and two great teams playing football here tonight, and the Cotton Bowl will be happy to have either team.
All right, who is going to be the other team? There's talking Notre Dame, and of course our game on Saturday, BC West Virginia. Who's your best thought at this point?
Well, you know, West Virginia is undefeated, and so obviously we'd like to have an undefeated Big East champion in the Cotton Bowl, but there's other possibilities too. Several games to play yet.
All right, Bob, future of the coalition. Are we going to see the same thing in years to come here? Is there going to be a change?
Well, we have one more year on this contract, and I think everybody would have to agree that this is great. Here we are at the last weekend of the season, and the four major bowls do not have their teams paired up yet. So that's what college football is all about, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
Cotton Bowl coming up New Year's Day in Dallas, Texas, Ron.
All righty, Adrian, thank you very much. And Mr. Smith?
I do not agree with the coalition's working. And also, Hoss Brock for many years, Ron, you know, college football meant a lot to the Cotton Bowl. He'll be missed.
15-9 our score. It's about to go under 10 minutes left to play in the ball game. Pitch comes to the tailback, and Texas is there for the occasion. Brackens and Stoney Clark.
Tony Brackens, a defensive lineman, played nose guard in high school. Rex Norris, the defensive line coach who coached Leroy Selman, Jerry Ball, Tony Casillas, some very good defensive linemen. Thinks that Tony Brackens, number 98, he's only a freshman, 230. Rex Norris says when he puts on 20 pounds and gets up to about 250, he's going to be something.
Yeah, he really likes him. He talks about him frequently when we go to their practices, Mike. You're right. Pulley drills the pass, almost intercepted by Chris Carter.
It's a scheme again where Chris Carter, Leon Fuller sticks him at the free safety and moves him up, and I don't think Corey Pulley is able to find him. Doesn't look like he sees him again. Almost throws a pick. Corey Pulley trying to throw the curl route and right through Chris Carter, number 16. Ron, I'll tell you what, 9:23 on the clock. This game is unfolded just like John Makovic would like for it to. Have good field position, wind is back, a chance to win this game.
Adams on the run. No fair catch. He'll return it, breaks a tackle, breaks another inside the 35. And let's take a break. 30 yards on the punt and 14 on the return. One fight song goes in the distance right after another. 15-9 as you look at Winfred Tubbs. Little game of heart and soul in this one tonight. The Aggies and the Longhorns. So many times they played just this way. Hand off to Brown, breaks it open, has 5, gets to the outside. Will have 10 yards, and now counted off at 11 as Ray Mickens comes up to make the stop. but the Longhorns with a gain of 11 and down to the 24-yard line.
Brought the tight end in motion and used him like a pulling guard. He was the trap player, but Phil Brown's so quick when he hits that hole. He stutter steps, and bang, right through there for good yardage.
Mike, this is the second possession this half that Texas has taken over the football in Aggie territory. Bill Brown, counter trade, back into the boundary. And boy, again, within one man of breaking a very big play. It's got to be a gain of about 7. Jackson is the man who comes over one of the Texas Aggies on defense to make the stop.
Ron, the little counter play that they had trouble running early in the game, Dwayne Whetstone, number 75, is going to get the key block. He leads around on Jason Atkinson, number 43. And John Makovic did not give up on the counter, stayed with it, and picked up 7 yards.
Pinckney working in the mismatch against the smaller Mickens, but they go to running play. Up the middle, close to first down territory, and he will have it at the 11-yard line. Larry Jackson is there defensively for the Texas Aggies. And now let's see on this series if they will continue to run or if the Pinckney mismatch in size will come into play one more time.
What gets tough down here against Bob Davies' defense because they just refuse to allow you in that end zone, but I think you still stay with Phil Brown down here. This is 4-down territory for you with 7:53 on the clock. This is Phil Brown time.
In trouble in the backfield, going to be knocked down. Antonio Shorter will stop him for the loss back at the 18-yard line. And what a huge defensive play by Texas A&M.
Play took too long to develop the counter, but it was a slow counter. Antonio Shorter, number 56. Look, he gets up the field. He beats both blocks of John Elmore coming in the tackle. Troy Reamer, he's so quick, he got ahead of the block and was able to make the tackle on Phil Brown. Now you think Pinckney, Ron.
I think you're right, and he's lined up against the much smaller Mickens, top of your screen.
Just got it. What Texas has to do is block it and get it off. Here comes the blitz.
Look in. It's Pinckney at the 5. Not enough for the first down. It will be a 3rd down. Texas, and they need about 2 yards as Mickens had the cover, but there's no way he can cover that big guy.
You know who made the play on this? Phil Brown again, because they made an adjustment. They moved him up. Now you got the slant because Ray Mickens thought he was going to run the fade. He broke it inside against Mickens, and then he has that big body like J.J. Stokes out of UCLA to shield you. Shane Moran's now, hey, he's 20 years old now. He started this game 19.
Running play. Brown. Does he have the first down? I don't think so. He's going to be at the 2-yard line. He needed the 1.5. Antonio Shorter is the man who tripped him up, along with Tackleman.
Ron, there's only one call, though. With 6:05 on the clock, you go for the first down if you haven't made it.
Didn't make it.
Get a measurement, look at it, take a timeout, and come up with your best play on 4th down because no sense in kicking the field goal now.
Timeout, Texas. 6:01 left of the ball game. We'll be right back after this.
One of the things that sets Mercury Villager apart from the rest of the minivan crowd is its unique sliding rear seat. For those occasions when you need more room, slide the seat forward. More room? Slide it forward to the middle seat. More room? Remove the middle seat and slide all the way up. And if you still need more room, call Milo. The Mercury Villager. All this and the quality of a Mercury.
Okay, Jimmy, ready for your picture with my new Polaroid Captiva? Yeah!
No!
Now smile. Cheese! Where's the picture?
Okay, you can get down now.
Where's my picture? I want my picture. I want my picture.
Introducing the new Polaroid Captiva. It's sleek, it's stylish. Its pocket-sized pictures stay in a special compartment till you take them out, so you're free to shoot and shoot.
I'm next, I'm next, I'm next.
The new Polaroid Captiva. Pick one up for the holidays. In the year 23,012 BC, Lenny, the traveling salesman, rented the first big round wheel from Thrifty at a nice small rate. Today, Thrifty Car Rentals still offers historically low rates, and now on nice big cars with 4 wheels. Simply check your phone book for the Thrifty location nearest you. Renting wheels at low prices is nothing new to Thrifty. In fact, we invented it. Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Welcome back. There's the situation. 15-9, 6:01 left. And Mike, this crowd is going to let you know they need a half yard for the first down. They need 2.5 for the touchdown.
I like to roll out to this side, the right side, with a run-pass option by Shea Moranz. In the past on 4th and 1, they run a quarterback sneak, but it's too far for a quarterback sneak.
Moranz rolls, drills it, and it is intercepted. Dennis Allen with the pickoff. And of all the things that Texas could not afford to have happen, it did right there. And that is, he tosses the interception.
They had the run-pass option on the rollout. You see Bob Davie with Dennis Allen, number 39. Shea Moranz rolling to the right, trying to fit the ball in to his tight end, Steve Bradley, number 89, but Dennis Allen with the pick. Now it's turned over to Leon Fuller and his defense.
5 minutes, 55 seconds left in the ball game. A&M by 6. And they'll go straight ahead with the running play with Cliff Gross. Timeouts, A&M, obviously, they don't care. They don't want to stop the clock. Texas does have 2.
A big interception by Dennis Allen. That's the first of the night for Shea Moranz. If they play defense, Ron, they'll be back down here again.
Hill breaks it big. Reeves will make the tackle, but Mike, what a huge first down, and he does it with 5:09 left in the ball game. And they're going to spot it at the 20-yard line.
He just wears you down. And the fullbacks, Cliff Gross with the good block. Calvin Collins, number 54, the freshman offensive guard with a good block. Texas has to gamble. They've got to come up with an 11-up defensive scheme now, because figuring that A&M's going to run the football, they've got to challenge the run.
For Tubbs from his middle linebacking position makes the stop at the 25-yard line.
It's interesting, Ron. You look at the alignment of Chris Carter, number 16, the safety. He's 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, so they're bunching everybody up to stop the run. 4:23 on the clock. John Makovic with his offensive team going over his 2-minute drill, telling his team to think. You still got 2 timeouts left. We have time. They need a stop.
Straight ahead, and they're not going to have it. And now look for Texas to use a timeout, as it will be a 3rd down situation.
I don't think so, Ron. I think they'll continue to keep it going. They need another stop here. If they can stop them here, they're going to get the punt. Big, big 3rd down for R.C. Slocum.
Leon Fuller looking on. 3 of 12 and third down conversions for Texas A&M. They need the 30-yard line. And he's going to have the first down. And with that, to the delight of this capacity house of 79,000, that will move the chains, and a huge nail goes in the coffin of the Texas Longhorns with that.
Now, Ron, you think of timeouts. Now you have to use your timeouts with 3:13 on the clock. Now Texas should use both timeouts after they stop the play.
Greg Hill was shaken up on the play and has been helped off the field. And that means that Thomas will check in, replacing him at tailback. Thomas to the near sideline, a lot of running room. 50, 40, runs out of bounds. They're going to say he did not step out of bounds all the way to the 13-yard line. Carter caught him.
Really a key block by Calvin Collins, number 54. The tailback counter play for A&M. Remember now, Rodney Thomas hasn't been in a tailback as much. Look at that block by Calvin Collins, 54. Now the fresh Rodney Thomas is able to go down the sideline. Finally, the tackle made by Chris Carter. That's the chance you take when you bunch up at the line of scrimmage. And if they do break a crease, it will be for big yardage.
53 yards in the carry. So with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the ball game. Texas A&M with a 1st and 10 just outside the Longhorn 13-yard line.
Texas has to start using these timeouts with 2:40 on the clock. And let the clock run. I'm sure they'll use one after the next play.
Thomas came in the ball game because of an injury to Greg Hill, and lo and behold, he hits you with a 53-yard run. Thomas puts the head down and takes it to the 7-yard line.
Still surprised Texas is not using the timeouts. 1:44 on the clock, and it's moving.
2 tight ends with the 3rd down, and Texas A&M needs to take it to the 2.5-yard line to keep the drive alive. Right now, they don't really care. They just want that clock to run, and it is at 1:28 and now 1:27. Thomas, by the way, 12 carries, 87 yards. Van Malone, one of the first men to come up out of the secondary to make the hit. And we're about to go under 1 minute left in this ball game. I don't believe he got the first down. He's very close, but I don't think he got it.
I think you go for this.
Well, Tertulius has missed a couple tonight, so
field goal would put it out of reach, would win it if you kick the field goal, but if you go for the first down the way Rodney Thomas is running, it's over. And you don't take the chance of a blocked field goal. 59 seconds and the clock is running. They're going to go for the first down. Texas finally using a timeout.
Well, Texas takes a timeout, so we'll stay right here. And now our wrangler, players of the game. First of all, for the Texas Longhorns, Van Malone, 12 tackles, 8 of those solo. And for the Texas Aggies also, a defensive player, Sam Adams. 7 tackles, 3 for a loss, and he caused all kinds of havoc as far as the Longhorns are concerned tonight. So it is Malone and Adams are 2 defensive players of the game by Wrangler, and we say congratulations to those 2 defensive guys.
Ron, this has been a well-coached football game tonight, both sides of the field, and this has been like a rivalry game should be played. Comes down to the final 56 seconds. Both coaches, all you can do is put your team in a position to win. That's what you're trying to do. And John Makovic has done that on his side. R.C. Slocum on his side.
You know, the Lone Star blowing briskly over College Station, Texas. Coming up next, Sports Center. Take a look at today's pro action. Everything else that was on the calendar.
First half, A&M in 28 yards rushing. The second half, 175 yards. They're going for the field goal.
Benetoulius, ball is going to be placed down at the 10. Good pass. Ball is down, and he's there.
Flying.
Texas A&M was almost a 3-touchdown favorite coming into this one, and I don't think anybody from Aggieland thought that it would be until 53 seconds left in the ball game that they would be able to throw their cotton as a sure thing that they will move on to New Year's Day with a 10-1 record and be perfect in the Southwest Conference again, which will be a new record, 23 straight. But it has taken a while. But they go on top 18-9 with 53 ticks left. Well, when you see the reaction of the players to the winners, obviously a different reaction from the far side with Texas, but that's what it means to these kids. Majority of them are youngsters from the Lone Star State, and they either grew up together, played against each other in high school. They know each other well. Recruited by both schools for the most part. Everybody on these 2 rosters tonight. And it's one of the things that has always made this rivalry so special. And Mike, for those that try to kick around the Southwest Conference a little bit, you know, I sat here tonight with great interest seeing 79,000 people in 32-degree temperature, field covered with good Texas high school football players playing for 2 great universities, and I don't think this conference is as far off the beam as a lot of folks might like to say.
I agree, Ron. It's been a well-played football game.
Now a late flag comes down. Takes lateral the ball to Adams, and then some people squared off and started talking. Well, don't forget tomorrow, number 3 against number 11, West Virginia against Boston College. Kelchner against Glen Foley. Huge matchup in the Big East, not just there, but as far as the bowls are concerned, that's an excellent football game. Be sure to join us for that one. It is tomorrow, number 3 against number 11, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Boston College and West Virginia. Steps up. Comes out of bounds at the near sideline at the 20. Well, as far as win streaks, Texas A&M now takes over the longest one in the conference from Texas, which was at 21. Texas also with a streak 71 through 74 at 19. in Arkansas back in the 60s with 16 straight.
Speaking of streaks, Miami has a chance against Memphis State Saturday night to tie Alabama for the longest home winning streak.
Roderick Walker. He'll be knocked down at the 24-yard line. You can see they say the clock will stay in motion. 28 and down to 27. So R.C. Slocum receiving congratulations on the near sideline. And I don't think R.C. thought that it would be quite this tough tonight, although he did say on the practice field yesterday, Texas has the talent to beat my football team, and most fans don't understand that. Lorenz will get out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 8 ticks left.
Ron, remember one thing for Texas fans. Shea Moranz is going to be around for a while. He learned a lot in this ball game tonight. A redshirt freshman. He's going to be around. He'll remember this. He'll remember his experience. And next year he'll look forward to A&M coming to Austin. Corey Pullig, on the other hand, a young quarterback for A&M, will return also. They'll wait 365 more days to get another shot.
Lorenz is going to be shot. And with that, the clock shows no time. And they say there is 1 second left in the ball game. Now some of the core on the field and not realizing that there is 1 tick left.
That poor guy they're beating, they have to beat him again, I guess, once the 1 second goes off.
That's one of the yell leaders.
That poor guy's got to go through it again.
Sam Adams down on 1 knee. Now Texas goes across the way to confer. We do have 1 second left in the ball game. So Bob Davies summons his group on the near side of the field.
It's A&M's ball. And this is the play, if you're on the winning side, you like the most. Quarterback take the ball and go to a knee, and the celebration begins.
Sam Adams comes to the bench, takes the headgear off, and starts signing autographs. 18-9, Texas A&M with 1 second left.
Play offense, still a first down.
Ron, you're right when you talked about that earlier. An impressive night for the Southwest Conference. Well-played football game.
Bullock takes the snap, goes down on 1 knee. Cannon sounds, and this one is history. Well, that's it from Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, with the final score, A&M 18 and Texas 9. For Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Ron Franklin saying good night, everybody. Sports Center is next.